This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Bank, and we start with news from training camp on the injury front. Panthers rookie wide receiver Chris Brazzell II went down in practice today. As first reported by The Athletic and confirmed by ESPN, Brazzell suffered a moderate LCL tear in his left knee and is expected to be out for 8 weeks. Bengals defensive end Shamar Stewart was carted off the field during practice after suffering a left leg injury. Saints defensive lineman Bryan Bresee suffered a knee injury, which is feared to be a torn ACL. Meanwhile, at Bengals camp, Joe Burrow says his foot is healed and he will be ready to go for the season after dealing with injuries last year.
The foot feels great. I'll play with protecting it for the rest of my career, just because why not? I don't want it to happen again, but it feels good.
Also, quarterback news, Vegas coach Clint Kubiak says Kirk Cousins will start camp taking reps with the top unit. In baseball, the Marlins were down 6-0. They rallied to beat the Phillies 8-6 to complete a 3-game sweep of their series. First of a day-night doubleheader, the Mets topped the Braves 3-2. Diamondbacks over the Pirates 3-0. Arizona second in the NL wildcard.
If you run a small business, you've got to try Gusto. Get unlimited payroll runs and get your payroll taxes filed automatically. Offer health insurance, 401k, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You sir. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Hey. Yeah. Hump day.
It's hump day.
Saints opened up camp today.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And a starter has been lost for the season.
Hump day.
We'll talk about the Bryan Bresee injury.
It's hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day.
Lane Kiffin was at Rotary today.
It's hump day.
We'll hear from the LSU head coach.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Frank Shough covers the NFL for Yahoo.
Hump day.
He'll be here next hour.
It's hump day.
Ole Miss is suing LSU players.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We'll talk about it.
Hump day.
React to it.
It's hump day.
The greatest of all time is back.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Our guy.
Hump day.
Tom Brady's back.
The man whose career was launched right here on
It's hump
AFR.
day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
A man who owes his success to us
Hump day.
and ours to him.
It's hump day.
Cooper Rush,
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
starting quarterback yet again.
Oh, no.
Hump day.
We bequeath all of the AFR karma upon thee,
It's hump day.
our dear friend Cooper Rush.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We don't know him.
Hump day.
Our best friend.
It's hump day.
All right. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Saints opened up training camp today on the field for the first time. Pretty fired up for it, man. Golly. Year 2 under Kellen Moore. Lots of expectations. Tyler Shough taking over. A year ago, they were battling for the starting job. Now we know he's entrenched as the starter. Coming into this camp, healthy. Jordan Tyson ready to go. Kendre Miller ready to go. And right out the chute, Nick Underhill was the first to have it over at New Orleans Football. Saints defensive tackle Bryan Bresee suffered a knee injury at camp today. Will be undergoing further evaluation per sources, noting that Bresee had his fifth-year option picked up for 2027. Injury is feared to be season-ending, which is brutally bad luck for him. That's the tweet from Underhill. And then a short time later, Ian Rappaport tweeted, citing sources, he and Mike Garafolo over at NFL Media, that Bryan Bresee is feared to have suffered a torn ACL. That, of course, would mean that the former first-round pick is done for the season. One practice, and Bresee done for the year. Okay, let's dive into a little bit of this and what it means and everything therein. It's interesting that just a day ago on the eve of camp, we were talking about veterans that are going to have to fight for their positions and some of the position battles worth watching. And one of the ones I mentioned was Devon Gottschall, because Gottschall a season ago had his lowest PFF grade of his career and played the fewest snaps of his career in a full season. The COVID year, he was limited to 9 games. Forgive me, I'm not looking at it right now, but he played the fewest snaps of his career in the COVID year, but didn't play a full season. So we talked about Gottschall being a guy that, with all of the talent and youth behind him, might have to fight for his job. And we mentioned, of course, Bryan Bresee, former first-round pick. Vernon Broughton, who they drafted a year ago out of Texas. Christian Miller, who they drafted in the second round this year out of Georgia. Nathan Shepard. You look at the depth there at defensive tackle. And just like that, Bresee's season is over. If we look at Bresee, there's an interesting conversation about Bresee, because he's a former first-round pick, and the metrics show that he improved last year, but the statistics do not. What I mean is, last year, Bresee had just 2.5 sacks. As a rookie, he had 4.5. In his second year, he had 7.5. So you're thinking there's a blow up the launch pad guy from the interior. So he goes 4.5, 7.5. And then last year in year 3, he dropped down to 2.5 sacks. He had just 37 tackles on the season. But if you look at PFF, and again, we talk about PFF all the time, it is a metric. It's not the metric. It's just something to consider. As a rookie, his overall grade was a 45. In 2024, this is the weird juxtaposition of Bresee. So in 24, he has 7.5 sacks, but his PFF grade was a 36, which is terrible. But he had 7.5 sacks, which is productive. Then last year, his PFF grade skyrockets to a 52.9, which is not great, but it's 20 points higher than the year prior, but he had just 2.5 sacks. No matter how you slice it, this is a guy who's given you roughly 700 snaps defensively and is a starter. And is a guy who the Saints picked up his fifth-year option for 2027. So they see a lot of value in him and what they're building. But now you're going to be without him for this season. So now you look and say, okay, no Bryan Bresee. What does that mean at that spot? Well, it certainly means that Devon Gottschall is no longer really in jeopardy of losing his position, of losing his job. He's a 10th-year pro out of LSU. We're all pulling for him. We wanted to be great. But last year was a rough year for Gottschall. Now you need him to be really available and productive for you. We can look at a lot of the guys there. Vernon Broughton ended up playing in just one game and then was lost for the season. But remember, Vernon Broughton is the big defensive lineman out of the University of Texas, where he played for Bo Davis. Bo Davis, who left Texas, went to LSU for 1 year, and now it is his second year with the Saints. But Broughton was at Texas under Bo Davis. He's 6'5", 311 pounds. He was a third-round pick, but played just one game a season ago, then was lost for the year due to injury. But Broughton's back on the interior. That's a third-round pick that you think should be an impact guy. Then you bring in Christian Miller this year, second-round pick out of Georgia. Like, you're going to use a second-round pick on a guy. You expect the second-round pick to make the team and be an immediate impact guy. Maybe not necessarily a starter, but a guy that's going to be an impact player. And at that position where you're going to rotate bodies, yeah, you expect Miller to be there. And we talked about a guy like Xavier Harris. Now, he's starting the season on the NFI list, but that's a non-football injury. But he's 6'8", 330 pounds coming out of Ole Miss, and but for some of the off-field stuff, likely would have been a top 50 draft pick. You know, maybe a day 2 guy. But he had the off-field stuff, goes undrafted. The Saints pick him, and the hope is you keep him on the straight and narrow. Maybe he could be a really big-time impact player for you. We'll see. It remains to be seen. But an opportunity there. You know, Nathan Shepard returns, played in 16 games for you a year ago, had 47 tackles, 4 TFLs. So you got bodies, but you're losing a guy that you were really hoping was going to take a big leap in his 4th season after the Saints picked up his 5th-year option, the former first-round pick, a guy who's been durable. Bresee played in all 17 games each of his first 2 seasons. Last year, played in 15 games, missed 2. But he's a guy that's been available, been durable. And again, like, the organization felt like he was a productive player even if the statistics didn't show it. And they were expecting a big year this year, but it's been chopped down before it even starts. Bryan Bresee lost for the season due to what is reportedly a torn ACL the first day of camp. As we get more information on Bresee's injury and what this all means, we'll certainly pass it along to you. When Kellen Moore met with reporters after practice, he did not comment on Bresee's injury. So with the reports out there now, the next time Moore speaks with reporters, most certainly we'll say something. And as we have more, we'll certainly pass it along to you. All right. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. Of course, you can get the officially licensed cans and bottles, both for the Tigers and for the Saints. The official beer of the Saints as well. So you want the black cans with the Saints fleur-de-lis on it, you can find them. You want the 12-ounce cans, the 16-ounce bottles, you can find them. Look for these specially marked packages at great retailers near you. Or if you're at your favorite watering hole or restaurant, ask for it by name. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Okay, it's after further review. We got tons of Saints stuff to talk about. Kellen Moore met with reporters after practice, as did Alvin Kamara, as did Tyler Shough. We'll let you hear plenty of that throughout the show. The final sort of public appearance for the LSU football coach annually before the start of fall camp is the Rotary meeting the Wednesday before fall camp begins. Well, that was today, and Lane Kiffin was the guest speaker at the Rotary Club of Baton Rouge, and he spoke, and we'll let you hear what Lane Kiffin had to say, and we'll react to it next on AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about our friends over at Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. You know where they are. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every day to buy local and shop local over at Clegg's Nursery. Check them out on Facebook. Remember, anytime they get a new shipment of anything in, the first place they post it is on their social media. So their Facebook is a great place to go to check it out. You want to save on flowers and plants and trees and shrubs, they got it. Even things like root stimulator and plant starter solution from Fertilome. They've got that over at Clegg's Nursery. So again, if you're trying to beautify your outdoor space, maybe you want some accent pieces like bird feeders, hummingbird feeders, tuned wind chimes, outdoor mats. I got all that for you over at Clegg's Nursery. So pop on into the location nearest you, buy local, shop local, and support a great local company that's supported Baton Rouge for 60 years. Tell them Matt sent you in when you go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last. Because in Louisiana, toughness isn't just on the court, it's in your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last. Because championships are built on commitment, not just on the floor of the court, but your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Fabry Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Fabry family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at fabrychevrolet.com.
Community sailing is all about getting people in the New Orleans area out on boats, out on Lake Pontchartrain. Gulf Coast Bank helps us provide opportunities to get folks out who might not otherwise have the financial means to come sailing. Auctions in August is an online fundraiser that helps nonprofits like us service the community. Bidding through Auctions in August is a lot of fun because there's so many different items. There's something for everyone, so you're sure to find something that relates directly to you that you'll enjoy bidding on, and you get to help out the community.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season, and we need a healthcare team
that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Ever wonder why cane sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made fresh inside every Raising Cane's every single day. Because when you make it right, you can taste it.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Lane Kiffin was the featured guest at the Rotary Club of Baton Rouge on Wednesday. Customarily, that Wednesday before camp begins, I mean, this has been for decades, across, I don't know if Curly Hallman did this, but I know it was true for Jerry DiNardo and Les Miles and Ed Ogeron and Brian Kelly and now Lane Kiffin. The Wednesday before camp begins, the LSU head football coach is the featured speaker at the Baton Rouge Rotary Club, and that is today, as LSU set to begin fall camp a week from today. They'll report on Tuesday, and they'll begin practice on Wednesday. Actually, I was told today they're going to do sort of an interesting thing in practice. Like, they're going to go morning, night, alter. So, like, I presume next Wednesday maybe they'd practice in the morning, then Thursday they'll practice at night, and then Friday they'll practice in the morning. So I've never heard of that before. I mean, there used to be two-a-days. So you'd have like veterans in the morning and then or freshmen in the morning and select veterans in the afternoon or something like that. But anyway, we haven't had the full schedule yet from LSU, so we'll get that. But we're a week away from LSU hitting the practice field for the first time in fall camp. You probably noticed on social media here on Wednesday, they did put out a video of some of the player-led workouts. And there are, during this time, certain hours during the summer where the coaches can work with the players. So that's some of what you're seeing out there on social media, which is allowed. But Lane Kiffin met with reporters, and I shouldn't say reporters, he met the Rotary Club, and they covered a lot of ground. And the things that I found most interesting is whenever Lane talks about roster composition. Because, look, there's newsy stuff like Sam Levitt's injury and depth at corner, and we'll get to. But really, when you have a chance, but all that will rectify and will sort itself out when they hit the field in fall camp and they're working and practicing and we can see it. And then, all that sort of stuff. Like, all that stuff will come to pass. But the other stuff, which is sort of the off-the-field stuff, roster composition, NIL, rev share, priorities, all of that sort of stuff, that theory matters a lot. And so he was kind of asked about building, this is talking about building the roster so quickly and like being able to do this so quickly from coming in, there in December and then hitting that freshman class, the December signing class a few days later, January portal, and doing that so quickly without a ton of evaluation. What does that mean about the future?
What we were going to do, coming together with our staff and our style and what we bring and coming together at LSU would be to sign elite, great high school players from around the country and then also elite portal players from around the country. We've done that. This was combined #1 class when they put those together. The point of that is for that to happen already, to put us in a position to win this year with a really talented roster is awesome. But also I want to encourage you, if that can be done in that short a time once we were branded together with LSU, okay, what the future looks like when we have even more time to put together classes to know our own roster too.
I think that's one of the things that Lane, definitely one of the things he mentioned during his introductory press conference was he's like, I know he mentioned at the last place meeting Ole Miss, and when you have the opportunity to put the brand of LSU and Tiger Stadium and behind their system, what results it can net. Well, you saw that here in the early going building this roster. He also gave a hat tip to Baton Rouge in helping build this class, which is a little pandering to the home base.
When they came on visits, and these were players that in the portal that could go anywhere in the country, went to other great places on visits, one of the common things that was said by the kids, but especially by the parents, on Sunday meetings, they said, wow, it was amazing going around the university, going around the town and feeling so welcome, whether it was at the hotel they stayed at, whether it was at the different restaurants that they went to, and that everybody knew who they were, and everybody was excited about the potential of them coming here, and they felt a really home feeling, even though they're only on their visit for 48 hours. So I knew the history of being able to recruit to LSU and the stadium and the great players that have played here, but then to add that on top of it, really, I understand why over the course of time, as you look at it, it's been one of the most successful places in America, but also where great players have chose to come from not just the Southeast, but from all over the country because they feel that during the weekend.
Just to add some color to that, like if you were following the show a lot during the portal cycle, we talked a lot about those visits when guys were here. And look, we have great connections on staff. Some of the new guys that came in, a lot of the staff that was retained, and then just being around town. Listen, Supper Club, for example, is a great sponsor on the show. We've had a great relationship with them. And Supper Club was part of that rotation of restaurants where whenever the guys, the visitors, the players were coming in town, where they go to dinner. Supper Club, Brandon and Leighton, they do an awesome job over there. Our friends over at Rufino's, Shelley and Howard, and Stabs, buddy Kevin over at Stabs and Leo. They do an awesome job, man. And they're all great Tiger fans, and they want LSU to win. And, they roll out the red carpet, and they're great partners in that respect as well. But you would also have I would get these stories every night from people who were at the restaurants when recruits were there. And it's just all the people who would do exactly what Lane said. The recruits in town, everybody knows who that transfer receiver is, that transfer quarterback is, that offensive tackle, whoever it is. And they go pump them up and welcome them to town. That matters. It matters to a lot of these guys because it is a differentiator in a place like Baton Rouge. There are other places where they might be able to offer you money and playing time, but how much does it really matter to the people there? Well, you answered that question pretty quickly around LSU. Lane did also talk about the NIL opportunities that have come from LSU's brand.
Everybody wants to look at NIL and think it's, okay, well, how much money does the player get from the school? Okay, no, it's part of its NIL opportunities. It's not just do they have the donor base to raise the money. It's do they have the NIL opportunities because the branding of the school. And as you look at, like I said at the press conference, like Nike, Nike's given more NIL contracts to our football players. I think it's 12. The next school's 8. Not next SEC school, next school, period. So look at the branding opportunities when you come to LSU in NIL. And I think that's been missed in there, that people just think it's just, well, how much money do you have from donors? No, the kids want to know, man, that's a unique place. I can make my brand better when I go there.
Remember, this is important to note, especially on the heels of the Ole Miss lawsuit against Prince William Monmielen and Devin Harper, that revenue share is a contract. That is guaranteed money. NIL, in many respects, is theoretical. Hey, if you come to our school, we think you can make X in NIL dollars. The thing that LSU has done exceptionally well, again, credit where it's due. The thing LSU has done exceptionally well through their NILSU Max program is partner with its work with its partners to build NIL opportunities. So, for example, if there's a company that has $500,000 for advertising, they would go to Max and say, I have $500,000 to spend, maximize this money spend for my business. Well, there may not be one athlete that's going to get a $500,000 deal approved through the CSC, but can you take that $500,000 and do 50 deals, right, that can get approved? Now you've spread that money over multiple athletes, multiple sports to maximize value in return for that business. Now you're doing true NIL deals that are going to get approved through the CSC. That's the structure LSU has built, and they've been able to build because of the brand. That's what Lane was talking about. Now, a couple of the nuts and bolts things, too, in particular. Number one, maybe I'm bearing the lead here, is probably what we should have started with. It was an update on Sam Leavitt. Lane did tell us last week on Thursday at SEC Football Media Days that Sam's good. He's fine. He's 100%. But naturally, that was going to come up today.
Sam's doing great. He's coming back from a foot injury. He's full strength. Now it's just about getting the timing down with everybody. And anytime you bring a new quarterback in, but really the world we're in now, and especially in the rebuilding the offense, all the quarterbacks are new. And almost all the receivers are new. So that's a lot of work to do. And Sam missing spring, this has been very critical in the summer. In fall camp, obviously, will be really critical. But health-wise, he's in really good shape. And he's really been grinding in there to get back faster than they even had him on track for.
It's fantastic news. It is the grinding, good shape, all that sort of stuff, for sort of some intangible things. We'll get an actual in-person view of this on Wednesday when practice begins, when fall camp begins. The media is invited, I presume, to attend that practice. We'll get our first look at a full-go Sam Leavitt, and that'll start to answer a lot of the questions whenever they start actually getting into the work that they're doing. But like we've talked about a bunch, man, whatever this team is going to be, it's going to be largely on the shoulders of Sam Leavitt. And you can look at programs that have had transfer quarterbacks, and they flourished. I mean, we talk about Fernando Mendoza, but like a day ago we were talking about Oregon because Will Stein, the Kentucky head coach, was the OC at Oregon each of the last 3 years. We'll look at each of the 3 years. He had 3 different transfer quarterbacks. He had Bo Nix, he had Dylan Gabriel, and then Dante Moore. 3 years, 3 different quarterbacks, all transfers. In all 3 years, they were top 15 in the country in total offense. We could look at Miami as well, where you had Cam Ward, who became the number 1 pick in the draft, and obviously last year with Carson Beck, who got Miami to the national championship game. Now it's Darian Mensah. So that philosophy of going into the portal and getting a transfer quarterback and expecting immediate success, there's a lot of examples that show it, and that's what LSU certainly is going to expect this year from Sam Leavitt. We'll start to get a look at that on Wednesday. And then the other one that I think is really a big question is cornerback, especially after Aiden Anding's injury. You know who your first 2 are with Pickett and Woodland. After that, it really feels like it's a bit up in the air.
The quality of the backup corners is more important now than it used to be too, because it's hard to play every snap now because of a lot of tempo. But we have a lot of guys to look at, some younger guys. That's just the world that you're in now too. You're not going to be able to stockpile like you used to, where, man, here's the next first rounder, coming off the bench. That's a young guy. So, but it frustrates me, but then I realize everybody's in those same situations.
Kind of a ode to Joshua Dobson, 5-star number 1 corner in the country in this year's class, who was long thought to be an LSU lean, ends up not even including LSU in his final 5 because they've already got 2 guys they're paying in Pickett and Woodland, so you can't stockpile the depth there with a 5-star backing them up. So that'll change in time. But for this year, obviously, it's Pickett and Woodland as your starters. After that, I think that's going to be one of the fascinating camp battles to watch along with the offensive line. Does a freshman reclass like Haven Finney step up and have a giant year? Is it someone like Jakeem Jackson, who's a former top 10 cornerback in the country, who transferred in from Florida and was really limited last year due to injury? Do we see a young guy like Michael Turner maybe take that big step this year as a redshirt sophomore in his 3rd season now? Traylon James was a safety at Southern who transferred in, and he's the only corner transfer that's going to play corner now for LSU. And then you got some freshmen like Des Ellis who's coming in. So that'll be an interesting position battle to watch. We know the first 2. It's Pickett Woodland. Who's next is going to be really interesting. So that'll all start a week from today on Wednesday. All right, it's after further review. We've got much more to talk about from Lane Kiffin's meeting with the Rotary Club of Baton Rouge. He talked a lot about Billy Glasscock and that system and how all that's working out so far. Talked about the youth of this football team, how they're experimenting with AI. So talked about the future of the college football playoffs. So ton from Lane today, and we'll get into all that here as we move along. We are brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoni.com, Williamson, EYE.com for the Williamson Eye Center, eye care, eyewear, eye surgery. We talk all the time about getting your refractive procedure done so you can get rid of contacts and glasses forever, and that's very important. It's also important to have your annual eye exam because everyone should have your annual eye exam done, especially for your kiddos. They're going back to school here in the next week or so. If you haven't scheduled it yet, make sure you get them on the books for their annual eye exam. You can take them to the Williamson Eye Center, any of their locations across the greater Baton Rouge area, in Baton Rouge proper, in Denham, or in Ascension Parish, down in the river parishes. They got you covered. Zachary, it's the Williamson Eye Center. WilliamsonEye.com, Williamson, EYE.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here on this Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. 1 hour from right now, Frank Schwab from Yahoo covers the NFL. He's going to be here with us, kind of do a little wraparound from NFL training camps as they all open. What are the big storylines that we should be keeping an eye on? We'll do all that. If you missed the headline news today as the Saints open camp, Bryan Bresee feared to have torn his ACL. Nick Underhill over at NewOrleans.football was the first to have it. Ian Rappaport followed. So as we get more information there, we'll certainly keep you posted. Let me knock out a quick break. A former Tiger great was arrested. Sad story we'll talk about. We'll go around the SEC when we continue on AFR.
AFR.
I'm looking at my computer. There's a heat advisory in effect. The heat index today is 110. Woo! You know one way to fix that when you're outside? Get in your pool. Man, I don't have a pool. Great! I got an idea. Call Duplessis Pools. DuplessisPools.com, DuplessisPools.com, DuplessisPools.com. Remember, Duplessis Pools, they're going to build you a beautiful pool. Just go look at their Instagram. You'll see all their pictures of the beautiful pools they build. Beautiful showcase resort-style pools. But they've also been awarded and been named a top 50 pool builder in America each of the last 2 years by Pool and Spa Magazine. They're the only pool builder in the state of Louisiana to earn that distinction, and they've gotten it each of the last 2 years. So if you want the best, you want Duplessis Pools. And their pools start at less than $48K. It's like less than a car. DuplessisPools.com. Check them out online. Start today. DuplessisPools.com.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last. Because in Louisiana, toughness isn't just on the court, it's in your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last because championships are built on commitment, not just on the floor of the court, but your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the offseason. And we need a healthcare team
that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana.
Hey, on Monday, over at Supper Club, listen, yes, normally they're closed on Monday, and they are, but they're doing a special whiskey tasting and dinner over at Supper Club this coming Monday. It's limited, so you got to call ahead to reserve your spot. When I talked to Chef Layton yesterday, there were, I think he said maybe like 10 to 15 more spots, so very, very limited. But it's this Monday at 6 p.m. I'll be there. Hope to see you there at Supper Club. It's a bourbon dinner featuring Preservation Distillery with a course-by-course pairing through 6 expressions from their portfolio. So 6 different courses with a bourbon paired with each of the 6 courses. Again, this is a limited event. I think as of yesterday, there were 10 to 15 spots left. If you're interested, call over at Supper Club, say you're interested in the bourbon dinner for Monday, and reserve your spot. We hope to see you there. Supper Club right there on Perkins Road, supperclubbtr.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Man, I hated to see this story. Demetrius Byrd was arrested in Miami. I think everybody's got it at this point. I saw it from our news partners over at WBRZ. He was arrested in Miami Beach after allegedly threatening a man at knife point. You remember D. Bird's situation, of course. He was one of the heroes of the 2007 national championship team and got into a horrific car accident that where he had brain damage as a result. I remember around 2011, 2012, we did an event actually over at Yoga Lottie's in Baton Rouge, and that was something that D. Bird had taken up to try to regain some of his stability and core stability and flexibility after the accident. I mean, he had neurological issues. He had brain damage. One of the stories was that that he had part of his brain was exposed. I don't mean to be graphic, but as a result of that arrest. And so can't help but wonder, and you could tell, and I got to know D. Bird a little bit after that. I mean, obviously covered him when he was playing, but after that, and you could tell his speech was a little impaired. I'm not making excuses for this, but sometimes it's not an excuse, but it can be an explanation. So Bird allegedly threatened a man at knife point on a bus. He's accused of getting into an argument with another passenger on a bus before pulling a multi-tool knife from his pocket and opening the blade and said, "Who wants to die?" Now, there's no report of it going any further than that, thank God. Bird is 40 years old. He was granted a $5,000 bond at a Tuesday hearing, though he was ordered to appear before the judge regarding an outstanding domestic violence warrant. So I hate to see this, man. D. Bird at one point in his career after his accident, he gone into high school coaching. I know he was coaching there at Port Allen on the West Bank in West Baton Rouge, and really want the best for him. He was a great former Tiger and a good guy who was dealt a terrible hand after being a great college football player, going into the NFL, having that car accident, which effectively ended his career, and trying to piece things back together and clearly still struggling. So certainly thoughts are with the victims in this situation, which is, I can't imagine being held at knife point and being threatened, do you want to die? Regardless of who the person is on the other side of that conversation or whatever their circumstance may be, for the victims of this crime, certainly considering them in the situation. So too am I also thinking about Demetrius Byrd, hoping that he can get whatever help he needs, and if it's, if it is time in a rehabilitation center or whatever it may be, that's what it may be. I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't know. All I have is the information I just shared with you that we all know is public. But we'll keep you posted if that develops. But hoping for the best for all involved in a really, really tough situation. Okay, it is after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, yourgoodwood.com. Hormone replacement therapy, peptide therapy. Told you yesterday about the EMSALA. We're going to post a video, actually. The EMSALA treatment. It's a chair that sends these pulse waves through your muscles, which effectively stimulates it. It's supposed to simulate 11,000 Kegel exercises. So, if you're someone who struggles with, certainly happens after. Is very common after men who've had prostate cancer. And maybe you struggle with incontinence. This is something that could strengthen your pelvic floor muscles. So just a possibility. But my point is, there's so many different treatments and options they have at Goodwood. Learn more at yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Okay, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Tennessee Volunteers.
Linebacker Arian Carter has been suspended for the first 2 games of the season for accepting a $427 flight from an agent after he declared for the NFL draft. He's a senior, played through a foot injury, declared for the draft, aggravated the injury, needed surgery, and decided to return to Tennessee. Well, in the interim there, he accepted a flight from an agent for $427. This has got to go to court, right? I mean, everything does. He'll miss the opener against Furman and then a road game against Georgia Tech. He'll be eligible to return week 3 against Kennesaw State.
The Missouri Tigers.
It's really hard to defend the NCAA, man. Like, I'm even trying. Like, they're trying to enforce the rules, but this is one of those reminders of how ridiculous their rules are, man. $427 flight. He's going to miss 2 games. Whatever. Here's the good news.
The Missouri Tigers.
This is some good news. Ahmad Hardy made his first public comments since his shooting. He said, I've been waiting on that feeling. Just another obstacle that I accomplished. Steady going through things, trying to get my best to get back on the field. So Hardy was shot in an offseason altercation. Thankfully, he survived the shooting. Eli Drinkwitz did speak last week. So the bullet did hit a bone, which caused damage and has prolonged the recovery. But he says there's no question he's gained perspective over the course of the summer. But Ahmad Hardy is expected to be back on the field this year for Missouri, which is fantastic news.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Pete Nocta has moved into the interim GM role for the Kentucky Wildcats. Kentucky Sports Radio was the first to report it. He played tight end at Louisville from 06 to 2010. Was actually college teammates with head coach Will Stein during his time there. He accepted the assistant GM position at Kentucky that paid $230K, accepted that in January. Well, with Pat Biondo announcing he's resigning 7 months on the job, now Nocta has been promoted.
The Auburn Tigers.
And Auburn's going to face a Serbian pro team next month in Greece. The games will be played in Mykonos. Both will be at 7 o'clock local time. Mega Basket is the name of the team. They've faced other college basketball teams in recent years as well, including Kentucky, and they'll play Michigan later in August in Croatia.
The Texas Longhorns.
Quick baseball note. Texas has been looking for an outfield addition this offseason. They got one in Carlos Lugo. Lugo just finished his freshman season at Campbell, where he hit .347 with 6 homers. He was an all-conference player and on the league's all-freshman team. 5'9", 185. Struck out just 8.4% of his at-bats this past year. That by far would have been the lowest on the Texas baseball team. Carlos Lugo leaving Campbell, headed to Texas. Okay, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. If you're thinking of popping the question, go to Lee Michaels. Nobody has a better selection of beautiful, natural diamonds than Lee Michaels. Every diamond inspected by hand by a family member before it goes into the case at Lee Michaels. So you are buying the finest diamonds in the world at a great price with great customer service. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Maybe it's not an engagement ring. Maybe it's a birthday present, an anniversary present. Maybe it's a milestone anniversary, so you want to upgrade. You can trade in that old diamond for a new diamond, like Beyonce said. Let me upgrade you. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. We're going to knock out a break, wrap up hour number 1. To tell you just how busy of a news day it is, we haven't even yet got to Ole Miss suing the LSU players, which we'll do in about 15 minutes coming up after the top of the hour. When we come back, the legend himself is back, and we'll talk about it next on AFR.
After further review.
REV, RevFiber.com, RevFiber.com. So when I talk about RevFiber, one of the great benefits of having an all-fiber network, of course, lightning-fast internet speeds up to 5 gigs. But RevFiber is the fiber is buried under the ground. So what that means is storm comes, knocks around tree branches, they fall on power lines, and your cable and internet goes out. Not if you have Rev Fiber, because it's buried under the ground. So you're going to keep that incredible connectivity and those lightning-fast internet speeds even when the weather turns bad. You're also going to get a great price. You're also going to get local customer service. When you call Rev, their reps, their call centers are here. They're local. They've been in our local markets for 90 years, 90 years. So you're not being rerouted to a call center overseas. It's Rev Fiber. Rev is a proud partner of LSU Athletics, whether it's for your home or for your business, internet, cable, phone, security, home automation, RevFiber.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 2025 Jeep Wrangler with $18,000 off MSRP.
$18,000 off Jeep Wrangler plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Raising Cane's Texas Toast is a thick slice of bread, garlic butter spread, grilled to golden perfection, and made to order just for you. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Community sailing is all about getting people in the New Orleans area out on boats, out on Lake Pontchartrain. Gulf Coast Bank helps us provide opportunities to get folks out who might not otherwise have the financial means to come sailing. Auctions in August is an online fundraiser that helps nonprofits like us service the community. Bidding through Auctions in August is a lot of fun because there's so many different items. There's something for everyone, so you're sure to find something that relates directly to you that you'll enjoy bidding on, and you get to help out the community.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last, because in Louisiana, toughness isn't just on the court, it's in your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last, because championships are built on commitment, not just on the floor or the court, but your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find...
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Wrapping up hour number one. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We'll talk some NFL training camp with Frank Shough here in about 45 minutes. He's from Yahoo. Ross Jackson will be here at the top of hour 3, LouisianaSports.net. If you want Ross's report, it's up at LouisianaSports.net. I think it's right there at the top of the homepage. Should be. Yeah, it is. The photo there is Jordan Tyson. So Ross does an awesome job. He goes to practice whenever they give access and availability, and he puts out as comprehensive a report as you'll find anywhere. Of course, everything at LouisianaSports.net is always free. I have to hesitate to say, internally we refer to LouisianaSports.net as LSN, but obviously you don't know it as that. But LouisianaSports.net is free. You can get Ross's comprehensive training camp report from today, day one, and every day throughout camp there, always free over at LouisianaSports.net. And Ross will be with us in hour number 3. Of course, as we make our way through our training camps, so many different storylines abound, but it's hard to avoid the injury storylines. We saw today that the big talking point, of course, is Bryan Bresee and his torn ACL. When you think about what happened, man, just a week ago at the start of Panthers training camp with Nick Scorton tearing his ACL, the outstanding edge rusher from Texas A&M. It's Chris Brazzell, the wide receiver in Carolina, suffered an LCL tear today. Shamar Stewart with the Cincinnati Bengals was carted off today with a leg injury. It is so disappointing to see this and hear these reports, these injuries from players just as camp is beginning, non-contact injuries. It's, of course, part of the sport, and I don't even know how you avoid it. You do your best to be fit and ready to roll, but these non-contact injuries are just they're devastating to see. But sometimes when one injury happens, it opens up the door and opens up opportunity for another. And I'm not sure if you saw what happened in Atlanta today. Speaking of the NFC South, we talked about the key injuries there with Carolina Panthers, and then with Bryan Bresee today in New Orleans. But in Atlanta, Michael Penix is still not back and recovered from the knee injury that he suffered. And remember, they signed Tua Tagovailoa here this offseason, and Tua apparently had a flare-up of his injury. And so I don't even know the name of the guy who is from some school in Minnesota. Do you know that guy's name? Like some school in Minnesota, this guy was a quarterback who's playing today. And so Atlanta was in desperate need of a quarterback and of reinforcements. So naturally what they did was they called the GOAT. No, not Tom Brady. Not Drew Brees.
Peyton Manning?
Oh, Peyton Manning couldn't hold this guy's jockey strap.
They called Phillip Rivers because everyone calls Phillip Rivers and they need a quarterback coming in a pinch.
Fat Phil?
That's what they call it. The Colts did it.
Dude was, what did our guy Drew Fabianich say about Jordan Seaton? Puffy?
Puffy, yeah.
Phil was puffy last year.
Phil was puffy.
When he went to, but respect to him. It's pretty incredible. 5 years out to come out of retirement and do that. But no, not Phil. Not Phil.
Flacco?
Is Flacco still playing somewhere?
I think he's with the Browns.
Is he still with the Browns?
Pretty sure, yeah.
You pretty sure? You positive? Because I don't think he is.
Then
that's Deshaun Watson and Shador right now.
So he must be with the Falcons then, Flacco.
Nope.
Flacco, Falcon, yeah.
I love the alliteration, but no. As much as I hate the Atlanta Falcons, for a brief moment it made me consider at least a warmth in the subcockles of my heart when I learned that Atlanta signed none other than Cooper Robert Rush. Crank it up, Muse. Crank it up for Coop.
Oh, Lord.
Let's go, Coop. That's what those of us who know him best call him. We call him Coop.
No. You don't know him.
The pride of Charlotte, Michigan.
Stop.
6'3", 225. You know he was 6'3" in the 8th grade, Muse.
I don't think that's accurate at all.
He was. When we were having dinner there, and he had a growth spurt, and I was like, man, Coop got tall. Yeah, had a growth spurt. He did.
You never had dinner with him when he was in the 8th grade.
Lansing, Michigan, went to Lansing Catholic. Then went to Central Michigan, where he won 4 Heisman trophies.
He did not win 4. He didn't win 1 Heisman trophy.
Should have.
No.
He went undrafted because most NFL teams are cowards, and they were just scared that an undrafted free agent would come in and steal a job from their established starter that they were paying. Was going to make a lot of GMs look bad.
Or he just wasn't good enough out of
college. So he went undrafted. Then he signed with the Cowboys, and you know what he did?
What did he do?
He won the NFL MVP.
He did not.
Won 6 of them.
That never happened.
In Dallas.
No, he didn't. He started a few games. That's all that happened.
He repped the star better than anyone, even Bart Starr.
Again, we have to disagree on that.
And I really set you up for that one, Muse. Bart Starr played for
the Packers. I know.
Come on, Muse. Just try to follow me. Do a little better. Follow me. But then Dallas was like, you know what? Because Coop is so great and we have all this money invested in Dak Prescott, he's making us look bad, so we have to cast him aside. So you know what he did?
What did he do?
He went to the Giants.
Yeah.
And he won a Super Bowl.
He did not. He didn't. The Giants have not won a Super Bowl since Eli Manning did that back in 2011.
Except for the time Coop did it.
That never happened.
It happened, but they took it away from him because they couldn't stand having Cooper Rush be a Super Bowl champion.
The Giants haven't even played in the Super Bowl in over a decade.
Exactly, because they wouldn't let Cooper Rush go.
You just said he won it.
He did.
It did not.
They played it, and they took it away.
Never happened.
Did. Last year was with the Ravens.
Yeah.
That chump Lamar Jackson.
No,
he's not good at football.
The 65th best player in the NFL, Lamar Jackson.
I think he's like, they had him.
Whatever it was. 70th, whatever.
You know who should be one on that list?
Who should be?
Joe Burrow.
Yeah, exactly.
But after him, Cooper Rush would be on there, number 2.
No, he shouldn't.
Coop. You know who wouldn't have blown a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl?
Who?
Cooper Rush. November 21st, 1993, a great day in American history when Cooper Robert Rush was born. I hate the Falcons, but go get him, Coop.
After further review.
Thinking of buying land? Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. Hunting season's just about here. Are you dreading hunting on somebody else's lease again this year? Somebody else's property on your lease? Man. You want to get rid of that forever? You want your own piece of property? You tired of worrying about bagging the big buck because, should I really leave it for the landowner? Should I take the big buck down? Never have to worry about it if you're the landowner. That's why First South Farm Credit can help you buy your own recreational property, your hunting property, or maybe you're just looking for 20 acres to build your family's dream home. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Now remember, go to the website, FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. Just spell it out. They have the ultimate recreational land buyer guide. It's a free resource on the homepage. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com.
Raising Cane's is raising $1 million on National Chicken Finger Day for Chuck's charity, Kickstart Kids. Join us July 27th and help us continue Chuck Norris's legacy.
Chuck was a personal friend of Todd and the brand, and I know this would have meant the world to him.
Another roof gone too soon. Looks like neglect. There's no doubt about it. This is a case of poor installation. At Pelican Roofing, we don't guess. We investigate to find the real cause of your roof's problems. Call Pelican Roofing for your free roof investigation today. Case closed.
Bayou Ford is taking $13,000 off MSRP on the new 2026 Ford F-150 trucks.
Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the offseason. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our Lay of the Lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit LouisianaPropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Benkin. NFL training camp is underway, and there is injury news on this Wednesday. Bengals defensive end Shamar Stewart was carted off the field during practice. He suffered a left leg injury. Saints defensive lineman Bryan Bresee suffered a knee injury, which is feared to be a torn ACL. Meanwhile, Panthers rookie receiver Chris Brazzell II went down in practice. As first reported by The Athletic and confirmed by ESPN, Brazzell suffered a moderate LCL tear in his left knee and is expected to miss 8 weeks. Meanwhile, at Ravens camp, Lamar Jackson talked about the urgency to win a Super Bowl at this stage of his career.
Absolutely, it does. Each and every year I'm getting older, not younger, so of course, it increases, but it starts now. Like I said, on the lounge, it starts now, training camp.
Meanwhile, another quarterback note, Vegas coach Clint Kubiak says Kirk Cousins is starting camp taking snaps with the top unit. To baseball, the Marlins came back from a 6-0 deficit to beat the Phillies 8-6 to complete a 3-game sweep of their series. Diamondbacks over the Pirates 3-0. First of two Mets beat the Braves 3-2.
If you run a small business, you've got to try Gusto. Get unlimited payroll runs and get your payroll taxes filed automatically. Offer health insurance, 401k, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt.
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You soup. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Lane Kiffin was at the Baton Rouge Rotary Club earlier today. Well, let's hear some more of what the head coach had to say. Frank Shough from Yahoo talking some NFL training camp storylines in 30 minutes from right now. Ross Jackson in 1 hour. He was out at Saints camp today. Bryan Bresee, the story, lost for the year due to what is reportedly a torn ACL. We'll get reaction to that, and then the other talking points and storylines from camp today out at LSU, or excuse me, out at in New Orleans for the New Orleans Saints. Something that has been percolating finally did come to fruition, as Ole Miss did in fact file a lawsuit against two LSU football players, Prince Williamon and Devin Harper, for breach of their revenue share contracts. Now, this is something we talked about before SEC football media days that was seemingly coming. It was something that Ole Miss Athletic Director Keith Carter had said in an interview to the Jackson Clarion Ledger that was likely, that they were going to pursue legal action to recoup this money. And on Monday, Ole Miss did in fact file two separate lawsuits, one against Ichuman Mielen and Devin Harper to recoup the roughly $1 million in revenue share money that they say they're owed by a breach of contract from Harper and Ichuman Mielen for having signed their revenue share deals with Ole Miss and then leaving for LSU. Just one quick reminder before I go any further and kind of give you some detail and context here. Remember, revenue share deals are contractual, and that's with the athletic department. It's a difference between NIL and rev share. Now, the assumption is, rev shares pay for play. It's not. Technically, a revenue share deal is an NIL deal with the athletic department. So that gives the athletic department the right to use the player's name, image, and likeness to promote itself. So that's the revenue share component. The $20.5 million that the athletic department can spend and spread across all sports. Typically, the breakdown is 75% goes to football, 15% to men's basketball, 5% to women's basketball, 5% to everything else. So it's about $15 million that goes to football. So Ole Miss had done revenue share deals with Uman Mielen and Devin Harper for the 2026 season. A short time after signing those deals, they leave to go to LSU. They've broken their contract, their revenue share deal. And so Ole Miss is alleging here that they owe damages. They owe the buyout. So it's $550K from Uman Mielen and $400,000 from Devin Harper, plus attorney's fees, court costs, all that stuff. So roughly $1 million combined. Ole Miss released a statement in part which read, "The University of Mississippi values its student athletes and is committed to honoring all obligations made to them. In return, the university expects the same commitment from its student athletes and their representatives in upholding their contracts. Before transferring to another institution, student athletes Devin Harper and Prince Uman Mielen signed revenue share agreements that included provision requiring them to compensate the university with a predetermined amount if they departed before fulfilling their commitment. The University of Mississippi has a responsibility to enforce its contractual terms, and this position is consistent with the actions of other institutions in the current landscape of college athletics. The university attempted to amicably resolve this matter prior to filing." Okay, so a couple of things. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago when Ole Miss Athletic Director Keith Carter first spoke to the Jackson Clarion Ledger and said this was a possibility. I want to be very clear because there's a lot of Ole Miss fans who heard me say this and they misunderstood me. So let me be very clear. I am 100% okay with Ole Miss trying to uphold the terms of the contract and to collect the buyout money. I'm completely okay with that. What I didn't like is doing this publicly. In the statement from Ole Miss Athletics notes that this position is consistent with the actions of other institutions in the current landscape of college athletics. Okay. How many other institutions in the current landscape of college athletics are putting out statements publicly acknowledging lawsuit against student athletes that they are naming? Anybody? Think of any? I can't. Can you think of any other that you've seen, any other university that's put out a statement naming the names of the student athletes, the buyout terms, all the stuff, basically airing the dirty laundry? Because I can't. That's my problem. Ole Miss is going public with this with a singular intention. It ain't about the $1 million. You want to get your $1 million? Fine. Pursue your legal avenues to do that. Cool. Doing this in such a public manner is singularly focused, and that's to embarrass Lane Kiffin, LSU, and these players. And that is petty, and that is what other institutions have not done. Name names of the student athletes in a situation like this. Now, I do believe if you're a student athlete and you're going to sign a six-figure deal, high six-figure deal, then you better know what's in that contract, and you're going to be beholden to the terms of that deal. That's being an adult. I have a contract here at Guarantee Media. I have a contract. There's all different types of language in there. What I can do, what I can't do, conduct detrimental type clauses, buyout clauses, non-compete language. There's all types of stuff in there. Don't like it? Don't sign it. Negotiate, whatever. But contracts exist for a reason. We all have them. And as I understand it, in talking to a lot of people with knowledge of these NIL and rev share contracts, these buyouts are very common. But that's why there is no litigation precedent, because an agreement between the two sides is usually reached. And making a lot of calls today with people in university administration, athletic administration, agents, attorneys, like this is what kind of became clear today. What maybe you're not familiar with is that the buyout goes toward the revenue share cap, that $20.5 million the buyout goes to that. That's the huge part that we don't talk enough about. Because, like, let's say, hypothetically, all right, if LSU wanted to pay this buyout money, that buyout money if LSU wanted to pay it, okay, it has to come from the revenue share cap. You can't pay it from a booster or somewhere independent. If LSU is going to pay the buyout money to Ole Miss for these players, as I understand it, it has to come from the revenue share cap. At least that's sort of the thought. Now, again, we'll see how this is interpreted in court if it ever gets there. But it stands to reason with what LSU has spent on this roster, maybe they don't have $1 million under the revenue share cap. Maybe they spent it, which is why they can't pay it. And these two student athletes, Uman Mielen and Harper, while they signed revenue share deals with Ole Miss, like, those terms hadn't been paid yet because most of those deals are paid in monthly installments over the life of the contract. So if you sign a $500,000 deal in 12 equal installments, well, before you got your first check, you were out of there. So maybe the thing that works in Harper and Uman Mielen's favor is that this money wasn't given to the players. So maybe that's the clause that's punitive in nature. And maybe what LSU will argue is, okay, like a $550,000 buyout or $400,000 buyout is excessive and therefore unenforceable. Like, maybe that's the argument. I don't know how this is all going to play out. Again, I am not an attorney. I tried to speak to several today. Again, agents, administrators, all people who deal in this realm. But again, what I want to say, and they'll all figure that out. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm not here to sort all through it. What I'm here is bring you back to the starting point, which is to say the reason there isn't precedent for this is because nobody's done this yet. Nobody sued players that left to try to enforce a buyout. And so what is going to be enforceable? Now, the point that I would make is, which I think is very important, is that if you're someone who falls in the camp of you're tired of the transient nature of college athletics, where players just jumping school to school to school. Yes, the Uman Mielen and Harper leaving Ole Miss for LSU after signing deals. The linebacker from Cal who went to Clemson, who's now at Ole Miss. If you're tired of seeing that situation happen, then structure contracts with enforceable buyouts that are hefty that will disincentivize other schools from trying to poach your player. Now, it didn't work for Duke. Miami was willing to pay Duke the buyout for Darian Mensah to get him down to Miami this year. So it may not work in every situation, but it worked for Damon Williams. That's why LSU, or presumably LSU, whoever the schools were that were interested in Damon Williams, ultimately backed off and he stayed at Washington. He had a $4 million buyout on top of whatever he was going to be paid at the new school, which Jed Fish said was $2 million on top of what they were paying at Washington. So if Washington's offering $4 million, the new school was going to pay $2 million on top of that. That's $6 million, plus the $4 million buyout. That's $10 million. Well, now you're in ridiculous space that nobody was going to pay. So if this goes to court, how it all is rectified will be a fascinating precedent. But ultimately, my point, and they'll figure that out in court, my point is I have no problem enforcing a buyout. I think we need strong buyouts in these deals to cut down. If you're tired of the transient nature of football, put strong buyout language in these deals, which will reduce some of the propensity of these types of situations. So we'll follow it and see how it all plays out with Uman Mielen and Harper. But the bottom line is both are going to play for LSU this year, and we will follow and see what happens with this $1 million. But Ole Miss, it's not a bad thing to go try to get your money. It is very petty to try to do this in a very public manner. So both sides have been guilty of it, certainly throughout this entire conversation. We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the Saints. Pretty cool today. See the Saints on the practice field. They got the Rouse's patches on the Saints practice uniforms. Rouse's, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Man, love telling you about our friends over at Rouse's and everything that they have going on because, man, it doesn't matter if it's a weekend at home and you're looking for something to throw on the grill. Maybe you're bebopping around town around lunchtime and, you need to grab something for lunch. Well, you can pop on into Rouse's. They always got great stuff at the hot bar at Rouse's, Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. All your drinks, your adult beverages or beverages for the whole family like Evermore, they got it at Rouse's. The official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. I mentioned, you go to Saints practice, be on the lookout. You'll see. You can see all the photos we have from practice. There's the Rouse's patch right there. On every there's Jordan Tyson, if you're watching, with the Rouse's patch on his practice jersey. Rouse's, proud partner of the New Orleans Saints, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. We will knock out a quick break, and when we come back, is the SEC inching closer to agreeing with the Big Ten on a 2014 college football playoff? We'll get to that. Got an update on Logan Schmidt for you, Frank Schwab in 15 minutes. Ton to do. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, all this conversation about legalities and NIL and everything kind of reminds me about Gordon McKernan and injury attorneys. Yes, of course, get Gordon and get it done. But Gordon's been so a front center in the NIL space and the NIL game as well. Would love to get Gordon on the show to talk a little bit about these buyouts and all the contractual stuff. Reached out to Gordon today to see if we can make that happen. Hopefully we can do it soon. But ultimately, what's important to know is that Gordon and his team are fighting for the people of Louisiana every single day. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. 2 different ways that you can get in touch. Number 1, call the 8s. 888-8888, 888-8888. One more time, 888-8888, or go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Remember, you can always, at getgordon.com, click the little text bubble there in the bottom and chat with an associate. So you can call or you can text via the website at getgordon.com. If you've been injured in an accident, don't go it alone. You know what to do. Getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last. Because in Louisiana, toughness isn't just on the court, it's in your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last. Because championships are built on commitment, not just on the floor or the court, but your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 2025 Jeep Wrangler with $18,000 off MSRP.
$18,000 off Jeep Wrangler plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis.
We tell you every day about our friends over at Proform Steel. If you need a metal building, I mean everything from a shed in your backyard to a giant metal commercial building, Proform Steel, and I say they're the best, and Brandon Golson and the gang over there are awesome. Of course, he's on the state licensing board as well. If you've been in that industry and you ever had to buy a metal building, you know Brandon Golson. Proform Steel is the new endeavor. Proform Steel is the only company with a 3-part quality control process. There are 3 different quality control checks to make sure that every metal building is to specification before it leaves their warehouse and goes to you. And by the way, whenever it's delivered, that metal building, no matter the size, commercial, residential, anything. If you buy it from them, they'll deliver it for free. It's Proform Steel. Get your quote today at proformla.com. Proformla.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Got a quick update on Logan Schmidt. Of course, Logan Schmidt, what a wild story this is developing into. The top-ranked signee in the LSU baseball class. Monday's deadline for draft picks to sign their pro deals came and went. Schmidt did not sign. We kind of went through all of this. The Guardians drafted him blind. They used a second-round pick on a guy that was probably the second-best left-handed pitcher out of high school in the draft, a guy who wanted a big number, who had no intention of going to school, and they took a gamble. They drafted him blind without a deal in place, assuming he was not going to school, even though they could only pay him $1.7 million. And Logan Schmidt said, thanks, no thanks. So he's got two options. He either comes to LSU for 3 years, or he goes the JUCO route and is back in the draft a year from now. Made a lot of calls today, and I don't think this is any type of breaking news. We've talked about it already this week. Jay Johnson has been out to California to see Logan Schmidt. No surprise. I mean, he was in Pittsburgh for Derek Curiel's signing ceremony on Sunday, and then hopped on a plane across country to go see Logan Schmidt. And I talked to scouts about Schmidt. They bring up guys like David Price or Hagen Smith. You're talking about elite left-handed pitchers that could change a program if they're on campus for 3 years. And the metrics behind Schmidt are incredible. I had one scout kind of help me out with some notes today. His average fastball, again, lefty, his average fastball, 94.5 miles per hour at 17 years old. Something else, he's a reclass. He did what Connor Griffin did. So Schmidt just was 17 this past year, which was really his junior year of high school, but he reclassed. So keep in mind, this is a kid who never, ever, ever intended to go to college. He was trying to get to the pros as quickly as possible. And the pros value you the younger you are, the younger a prospect you are. Curveball's average. Didn't use his slider much, although LSU calls a lot of sliders. Change-up above average, 85 to 86. Big-time swing and miss pitch. The report on that horizontal break is minus 18 inches. Bro. 1.5 foot horizontal break on his change-up. Good luck. And he's a strike thrower. This is one of the things that is so intoxicating for Jay Johnson, why he wants this guy so badly on campus. He walked one hitter in 44 innings pitched last year. One walk in 44 innings pitched. He's a strike thrower. He averaged 16.6 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. Dude averaged 16 strikeouts per 9. It's incredible. He is a polished left-handed strike thrower with elite stuff. His extension, so his ability to get down the mound, right? His extension, the average extension is 6 foot. His is 6'6". So he's 6 inches farther down the mound than the average at his release point. So it would make 94 look like 98. And he has pop 98 as well. So apparently what happened, so you're like, well, how does a guy like that end up going on or dropping in the draft? So apparently his stock dropped, and I've heard this from several people since Sunday, or since the weekend. Apparently his stock dropped in the combine after his interviews. Sort of the book on him was that he maybe came across as unpolished, a little immature. And my thought was, yeah, he was 16. I mean, you're talking about a dude that just should be going into the senior year of his senior year of high school, but he reclassed. So yeah, sure, he's an immature guy. He's a really young guy, but look at the stuff. Look at the ability. I mean, he is an elite level left-handed pitcher, a polished lefty who pumps a ton of strikes, who averages nearly 95 miles an hour, has an 18-inch horizontal break on his changeup. I mean, you get this guy on campus, that's a game changer for 3 years. I mean, he is immediately either your number 3 starter or your closer. I mean, immediately if you get him to campus, which is why Jay's pushing so hard to do it. So the NIL component of this is going to be interesting because we know rev share in baseball isn't a giant number, but could you put together a 3-year package where the average value of your 3-year package is mid-upper 6 figures, which would put him among, if not the highest paid player on the team. So Stephen Milam's deal is a high 6-figure deal to return for 1 season. But if you're talking about 3 years with Logan Schmidt, if you could guarantee him mid-upper 6 figures, now you're talking about over 3 seasons, $1.5 million to $2 million. Well, that effectively replaces the money he didn't get by passing on signing with Cleveland. And if he develops, then he could get an even bigger signing bonus when he does sign and potentially be fast-tracked to Major League Baseball, like we've seen with Skeens and Jump and Anderson and Ince and so on. The risk, of course, is you get injured. And, you get injured and then your stock drops and you're 3 years removed from high school and you're not quite the prospect when the draft rolls around 3 years that you are today. So, listen, I don't know what he's going to do, but the fact that the door is even open, I just wouldn't put it past Jay Johnson to pull this off. I mean, said it on Monday, if there's anyone I want sitting on that couch making the pitch, it's Jay Johnson. And maybe they can arrange a visit to get Schmidt to Baton Rouge on campus to do a full visit and go through the whole thing. If he does, that's a great sign. And there's no urgency here either. The semester begins on August 24th. So you got a little less than a month here for him to make a decision. Because if he's going to pick LSU, then he's got to get enrolled in school, right? To be enrolled for fall, to go through fall ball. So there's no urgency. You could take your time. You could put the full court press on, but Jay wants him, and they are trying to put together a deal, a package, and a plan. Is sort of recruiting this pitch deck for him, for Logan Schmidt, to make this as appealing as possible. So for a guy who was dead set on going to the draft and never stepping foot on a college campus, I think it is a really, really heavy lift to think you're going to switch his mind in 3 weeks' time. But it's Jay Johnson, and I wouldn't put it past him. So as we get more info on this, as it develops, we'll keep you posted. Just wanted to file away because this is perplexing a lot of people in Major League Baseball and in the scouting community of just what happened here with Logan Schmidt. It's just so rare. Like you'll see like the Kumar Rocker thing. Remember Kumar Rocker from Vanderbilt? He was a top 10 pick of the Mets, and then he didn't pass a physical. And so the Mets didn't honor the contract that they had agreed to, and so Kumar Rocker went and played independent ball for a year. Like, that happens. Not commonly, but it does happen. This is just, it's an anomaly. And LSU trying to work through it, because if you get that guy on campus, what a mega win for LSU if they're able to do it. So as it develops, keep you posted as we hear more. All right, everybody, about Our Lady of the Lake, Championship Health Partner of LSU Athletics, FMOLhealth.org/LSU, where we always remind you that success starts long before Saturday nights in Tiger Stadium. It's in the offseason and recovery and the work that happens between games and seasons. That's why LSU head football coach Lane Kiffin and players like Sam Levitt and Whit Weeks and Trey'Dez Green and Jordan Seaton, all great NIL partners with Our Lady of the Lake. They trust FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, with their health care, and that trust is backed by a health system that's growing, thriving, and serving communities across Louisiana and Mississippi. As LSU's championship health partner, Our Lady of the Lake cares for the student-athletes that year-round that you cheer for, and that same expertise is trusted by LSU, is trusted and available to you and your family every single day. FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, and LSU. Together, we roar. Learn more at FMOLhealth.org/LSU. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. We will get to some of the comments today from Big Ten Media Days about the future of the playoff, the possibility of the SEC joining the Big Ten in their call for a 2014 playoff. We'll get to that. When we come back, though, Frank Schwab, Yahoo NFL reporter, will join us, do a little wraparound from training camp. Unfortunately, here on the opening days of training camp, some of the biggest storylines are actually season-ending injuries. So we'll get to some of that as we continue. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you need to hire, you need Glow Resources. Now, I love telling you about Glow Resources by telling you what they are not. They are not a temp staffing agency. So if you're an employee looking for a job, don't call Glow Resources. Like, they will find you. That's what they do exceptionally well and have done better than anyone. The Baton Rouge Business Report, the top 100, came out a couple of weeks ago. Top 100 private companies in Baton Rouge. Glow Resources, my buddy Jareth Nakhan, made that list again. I'm so fired up for them and for their growth. If you want to see what opportunities are available, you can go online to glowresources.com/careers to apply. glowresources.com/careers. That's where you can go to get more information. One more time, glowresources.com/careers. Whether it's skilled blue-collar labor or any type of office job, our friends over at Glow Resources can help you. glowresources.com.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last. Because in Louisiana, toughness isn't just on the court, it's in your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last. Because championships are built on commitment, not just on the floor or the court, but your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Training camp's underway all across the NFL. Frank Schwab covers the NFL and sports betting for Yahoo. He's at Yahoo Schwab. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Hey, Frank, welcome back, man. Thanks for the time. How are you?
Doing well. How about you?
Doing fantastic. Look, we're here in Louisiana. Obviously, the Saints opened up training camp. We've got the Bryan Bresee injury today. Maybe just start there. Frank, a quick thought on what that injury might mean for New Orleans, who's trying to make the playoffs for the first time since the COVID year.
Yeah, it's a bad one. There's no way around it. That's a key member of that defense that it was better in the second half last season and better than I thought it would be, but still not a really deep defense with a lot of stars. He was one of the best guys on that defense at a pivotal position. So tough blow. You just hate seeing injuries during training camp. It's the worst. I mean, it's so hard to just get to the season and the excitement, and you haven't even gotten to the preseason yet, and you've lost one of your key players. So, yeah, I wish I could be more positive, but that's a big, big injury for the Saints.
Look, the NFC South is a bad division. I think we all know it. And the hope here is, can you find a way to 500 or 9-8 and win a bad division, get back to the postseason? What do you see as the most interesting storyline in the NFC South?
It might be the Saints. It really might, because it's a bad division. I'm sorry. Like I wish I could be more positive, but nope, it's a bad division. And so I'm not really excited to see if the Carolina Panthers can go 8-9 again, or the Atlanta Falcons, completely underachieve and finish under 500 again, or the Buccaneers completely collapse in the second half. The Saints were the best team in that division over the second half last season. I think Tyler Shough is interesting. Kellen Moore, just to keep his team engaged and playing hard and playing well after they started, I believe it was 1-7, maybe 1-8. I was really, really impressed by that. I was skeptical of Kellen Moore as a head coach. You just don't know. He's a rookie doing it. I'm sold. I think he's a really good head coach based on that half season. But also, it came against a really weak schedule in the second half. And the Saints are the one team I'm just interested in. I'm not interested in the other three, to be honest. I don't think they're very good. I don't know the Saints are very good either. But at least I want to see if they can build on what they did in the second half last year. It was such a crazy in-season turnaround that I'm really excited to see what comes next.
Is there, from a handicapping standpoint, Frank, is there any value anywhere in the South?
No, not honestly. I don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
I think the Buccaneers are the best team. I do. I think that they're the most talented, but I think they're one of the worst coached. I still don't know how Bowles kept his job after the way they fell apart last year and didn't end up making the playoffs despite playing in one of the worst divisions in NFL history. Again, the Falcons don't have any quarterback to speak of right now. The Panthers, if you're asking for a value, maybe it's the Panthers under. I think the Panthers are a bad football team. They were not good last year. Yes, they beat the Rams. They won at the Packers. That's awesome. That's great. They did fight really hard against the Rams in the playoffs, and that's what everybody remembers. But nobody remembers that the Panthers were a really, really average football team. They weren't average. They were below average. They were far below average last year. They were really lucky to play in the NFC South. I don't buy them at all, not even a little bit. I don't buy Bryce Young either, to be honest. So maybe it's going under on all these teams. I really don't trust any of them.
Let's talk with some of the interesting quarterback battles in camp. I saw where you tweeted about what's going on in Minnesota, where apparently they're gonna divvy up reps. What do you think happens up there with the Vikings?
I think if I had to put a percentage on it, probably 95% of Kyler Murray wins that job. I think there's that 5%, we got to hold the door open for the 10th overall pick of the draft. That, look at the era of Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and even Geno Smith having, realizing down the road that we didn't give these quarterbacks enough time to develop really and show what they can do. And McCarthy's only had 10 career starts, but clearly the Vikings were looking for a new starter this offseason. They've, kind of settled. I'm not a big Kyler guy, but they landed on Kyler, and Kyler better than J.J. McCarthy, unless McCarthy just has a great camp, which you can't rule that out because he was a 10th pick of the draft. But I don't see that happening. I think this is a farce. I'd be stunned, absolutely positively stunned, if Kyler Murray's not their starter opening day, barring an injury or something that happens that forces McCarthy in the lineup. I just don't think this is a competition at all.
Frank, what do you think about with the Raiders, what they're doing there with Mendoza and Cousins, with maybe the early lean to Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, I do think they legitimately believe when they talk about we want Kirk Cousins to start all season. I don't think it's going to happen. But for some reason, Brady obviously has a lot of influence there, and he's, on record saying, I think we ruin quarterbacks by starting them right away. I fight back against that, even though Tom Brady is obviously very, very intelligent when it comes to football. But I look around and I say, Matthew Stafford won MVP. He started day one. Josh Allen basically started day one. Justin Herbert basically started day one. You can go Dak Prescott. And, I can name about the top 10 quarterbacks in the league other than Mahomes, who I think would have been fine his rookie year. They just didn't want to start him his rookie year. And most of them started day one. And even, we saw this a couple of years ago with the Patriots saying, we're not starting Drake May. We're not starting Drake May. You get a few weeks into the season and maybe your record's not that good. And maybe the guy starting isn't playing that well. And it's just too much of a enticement to put that young guy in there. I think Mendoza starts double-digit games this year. I think he takes a job mid-October sometime. But I do think the Raiders are being genuine when they say we want Kirk Cousins to start as long as they can, even if I don't agree with that approach.
I am glad you mentioned Kansas City because the team that one of the greatest dynasties of any era missed the postseason, and now we've sort of completely forgotten about them after making 3 straight Super Bowls. And what was it, 5 of 6 Super Bowls? Are they done? Or do we have a resurgence this year?
I don't think they're done, but I'll tell you, I'm doing this countdown, our countdown, our offseason power rankings at Yahoo, and I had the Chiefs at 12, and I didn't know if I'm 8, 9 spots too low or 5 or 6 spots too high. I have no idea what to make of the Chiefs right now. Yes, they were 15-2 2 years ago. We all know it's because of their ridiculous record in close games. They were, 6-8 when Mahomes got hurt last year, but we all know that was because of a really bad record in close games. The luck just switch on them. So what do we make of them right now? I think the supporting cast around Mahomes has really deteriorated. Rashee Rice is a knucklehead, and Xavier Worthy hasn't worked out, and Travis Kelce is really old right now. I like the Kenneth Walker signing to kind of make defenses respect their running game for once, but the team around Mahomes isn't great, and now he's dealing with coming back from an ACL, but it's still maybe the greatest coach of all time and arguably the greatest quarterback of all time together. How does that team not compete for Super Bowls? So I don't know. The Chiefs are the one team that confuses me. They could be. You could tell me they win a Super Bowl, I wouldn't be that surprised. You could tell me they were about 500, I wouldn't be surprised. I just have no idea what to do with the Chiefs this year. But I struggle with the idea of writing them off because, again, it's Andy Reid, it's Patrick Mahomes. They can't fall off completely, can they?
I got 2 more for you along the same lines. People here love them some Joe Burrow because of what he did at LSU.
Yeah.
My goodness, when he's right, he's awesome, but staying healthy has been a problem. What do we think about Cincinnati? Is this the year they break through and get back to the Super Bowl?
I don't think so because I just don't trust the organization. I think this is very much Dan Marino vibes where guy makes this Super Bowl early in his career and is obviously great, obviously phenomenal. Joe Burrow's a fantastic player, but the organization is just letting him down. I don't really trust that coaching staff anymore. That defense, yeah, they added Dexter Lawrence and a couple other guys, and that's good, but I don't think that brings them up to a top 10 level or anything. And the offensive line got no help this offseason, and that's been a problem, protecting Burrow and keeping him healthy. So, look, Joe Burrow can't play any better than he played in 2024.
Right.
He was an MVP level. He's maybe arguably, and I think he is, the greatest season a quarterback has ever had without making the playoffs. Is Joe Burrow going to be better than that? Are the Bengals that much better than they were 2 years ago? I think it's just a franchise that's failing a player right now. So I don't really have high hopes for the Bengals, although I'll fully say if the defense does come together, they could win a Super Bowl. They could. It's a weird team that you're just like, as much as I'm dumping on them, Burrow is so good and Jamar Chase is so good that, yes, they could easily be in a Super Bowl if the defense comes along and they get hot. That's the upside, but I just don't trust that organization to do right by Joe Burrow.
And another piece from that 2019 Tiger team, of course, was Joe Brady, who won the Broyles Award. Now he's the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Frank, it was a little stunning seeing Sean McDermott get fired after the success he had there in Buffalo, but it's Joe Brady running the show. We expecting any type of massive difference with Joe Brady at the helm?
I don't believe so. I think there's the continuity there, but I just, as emotionally charged as that decision was by the Pegulas, the owners there in Buffalo, I get it. You're trying to get over the hump, and something needs to change. Like we can't keep wasting years of Josh Allen's prime. So, McDermott did have some questionable game management type of stuff and all that, and his defense had slipped for the last couple of years. So I don't know that it's a bad thing to necessarily just say, hey, we need to shake it up right now. We need to do this. We need to be bold. And I think Joe Brady is a guy who has been getting head coaching interviews for a while. He's highly thought of, obviously, since the LSU days. And I don't think there's going to be a massive difference, although it will be on defense. They hired Jim Leonard to be their coordinator, and he's going to change things up with their scheme and such. I just think it needed to be something to shake up the organization, a new voice, new energy, get them out of this like malaise of being the team that always comes up just short. So I actually have high hopes for the Bills this year. I think they're going to be really, really good this year because how can you not be when you have Josh Allen at quarterback? I mean, he's fantastic. So I actually do think this year the Bills break through and make a Super Bowl.
What are your favorite futures bets? Maybe you just gave us one there. Favorite futures bet you're holding for this year?
Yeah, and it's not necessarily the Bills because the odds aren't that great, but I mean, as much as I'm confident in the Bills, I'm wrong all the time. So I do like the Texans and the Chargers at their numbers. I think I'm really highly of both of those teams, actually. I think Justin Herbert wins MVP. I think that's a play I've already made. And anything Cowboys related, I'm really high in the Cowboys this year. I know. We've heard it before. We've hyped them up in the offseason, and they failed before. But I really like where this team is at. And when Jerry Jones yesterday it comes out and says, "Hey, I'm ready to make a big trade. I'm ready to make a big move." We've heard Jerry kind of be full of it before. I don't think he is this time. I think he wants to make a huge move, Max Crosby or whatever it's going to be. I don't know. I think he's got one big move left in him, and I think this Cowboys team is going to be really, really good this season.
Frank Schwab, Yahoo Sports, NFL, and sports betting. Get him at Yahoo Schwab, We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Absolutely appreciate it.
Yep, it's our pleasure. We're brought to you by Hancock Whitney Bank, HancockWhitney.com/Matt. My name, HancockWhitney.com/Matt. Been committed to Gulf Coast communities for over 125 years. They've been named one of America's best banks by Forbes each of the last 5 years. Y'all, think about that. And they're all over the South. Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Texas. 180 full-service financial centers and 222 ATMs, which means when I travel around the region, around the conference, I'm going to find a Hancock Whitney, generally speaking. HancockWhitney.com/Matt. Remember, you can be a card-carrying fan with awesome Saints or LSU debit cards. I have my gold Saints debit card. You can get yours at HancockWhitney.com/Matt. Remember, new clients can get up to $600 after opening freestyle checking and freestyle savings accounts and meeting requirements. So go to HancockWhitney.com/Matt to get started. Minimum deposit, account opening balance, and other requirements apply. Learn more at HancockWhitney.com. Member FDIC. HancockWhitney.com/Matt. Proud partner of LSU Athletics and the New Orleans Saints. All right, we'll now count our final break of hour number 2. Musil do Tigers in the pros. Ross Jackson's here with the Saints camp report in 15 minutes. We're glad to have you with us. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
94 degrees with a heat index pushing 110 today. Y'all, if your AC goes out in that, brother, that ain't nothing nice. So if you have issues with your AC, make one phone call. River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or online at onehourbr.com. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. The great thing, there's many great things, but one of the great things about River City's 1 Hour Air is they're always going to give you a good, better, and best option, and you determine what's best for your family and your budget. If you want to do a small repair to get your thing cranking again, they can do it. If it's something where they recommend a full service unit replacement, well, they're always going to double-check their work, have another technician come out to make sure that's a recommendation. You decide if that's what you want to do. A good, better, and best option, and you decide. It's River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
My name's Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
Bayou Ford is taking $13,000 off MSRP on the new 2026 Ford F-150 trucks.
Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Shaw & Fagan & Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Want to play baseball or softball like the pros? Then join me this Thursday at Marucci's Hitter's House on Seagan. We'll be broadcasting AFR live, so come take some hacks in the cages and meet our friends over at Marucci, the official bat of Major League Baseball at Marucci's Hitter's House.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Every major industrial project begins with one decision. Who will you trust to build it? Well, at River Parish Contractors, they're built to execute, and they're trusted to deliver. Remember, the right contractor doesn't just provide the manpower. It's leadership and planning and safety and quality and execution, and that's why industrial owners continue to trust River Parish Contractors. They've got more than 500 employees, a fully integrated construction organization, and the self-performed capabilities to fabricate, build, and execute complex industrial projects. It's River Parish Contractors. They're prepared for the work that matters most. River Parish Contractors. Check them out online at rpcontractors.com. rpcontractors.com for River Parish Contractors.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Saints opened up training camp today. By now, you've probably heard the news. Bryan Bresee, a torn ACL, which is being reported. Nick Underhill was the first to report, over at New Orleans Football, was the first to report the knee injury, feared to be season-ending. Rappaport and Garafola later reporting it was, in fact, an ACL. We're waiting on confirmation from the New Orleans Saints, but devastating blow there on the opening day of training camp for the New Orleans Saints. Ross Jackson was there. He'll be with us in 10 minutes from right now to give us a camp report. Right now, Musso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport combined to report today that Grant Delpit is signing a 3-year, $48 million extension, including $35 million guaranteed, to remain with the Cleveland Browns. Delpit will turn 28 years old in September. He was in the final year of his current contract and had no remaining guaranteed left. Of course, last season, Delpit ranked 4th on the Browns in both tackles and sacks. It's been a great season, a great career for him. He'll have 3 more seasons there with Cleveland. The Sacramento A's, or just the A's, whatever city they represent these days. The A's. Tommy White.
The Athletics.
4 for 4.
How you doing?
For Tommy Tanks a night ago. All 4 of those singles, he did come around to score. Tommy's got 14 hits in his first 10 games in Major League Baseball. Still looking for the first home run, the first RBI, but that average, 359, it is off the charts.
His second 4-hit game.
That's incredible, man. He's just been awesome. Gage Jump was on the bump for the Athletics last night. 6 shutout innings, 3 hits, and 7 punch-outs. He got the win, his 4th win of the season. Aaron Nola was on the bump for the Phillies. He did his part. Familiar refrain here. Nola does his part. Phillies lose by 1. 5 2/3, an earned run for Nola with 4 strikeouts, and the Phillies lost 1-0. He gave up 1 run, pitched into the 6th. They couldn't do anything about it. That's the Phillies, man. Dylan Cruz continues to stay hot. 1 for 4 a night ago. Scored twice. The one was a pretty big one, though.
94. And Dylan Cruz crushes one out to left center. Way back and out of here.
Home run number 9 on the season for Cruz. Nats got the win. And then Alex Bregman, 3 for 5. That follows a 4 for 5. Another double. He's got 7 hits in his last 2 games. He's been incredible. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. southpointvw.com. Remember, you have just 2 days left in the month. If you want to go take advantage of those 4th of July savings that run all throughout July, you got 2 days left. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, maybe thinking about buying your son or daughter that first vehicle for back to school, great opportunity. 2026 Jetta right now, 3.6% for 60 months or $1,500 customer bonus. Check out all the great deals right now at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? Lane Kiffin was at the Rotary Club today in Baton Rouge. We'll let you hear more, but he had jokes when he opened up.
A couple of things as I was sitting there. First off, I appreciate the peace pole. It has wheels. So do you think I can take that to Oxford and Knoxville this year when I go in the stadium? I think that if I wheel that next to me as we come out the tunnel, that everybody will say, hey, good to see you, Coach. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Oh, man. He's well aware of what he's going to face in those 2 venues. It'll be here before you know it. We'll let you hear more from Lane Kiffin. Certainly some interesting comments on GM Billy Glasscock, who remains a central figure in building this roster in this program. We'll get to all that coming up. Sports Center and then Ross Jackson with the Saints training camp report. Stick around.
AFR.
Of course, we talk so much about the heat, but remember, during this time of year, it's hot and wet. It rains like every day. And so when you have that rain coupled with the heat and humidity, that is a breeding ground for mold, which is why Louisiana is like the mold capital of the world. It's wet, it's humid. If you have mold or think you might, you want Parish Restoration. Go to the website, fill out the form on the homepage, and they'll give you that free quote, what it'll cost to have your home, your commercial building, your office, church, school, doctor's office, gym, workout facility, whatever it is, clean, sanitized, get that mold out of there. ParishRestoration.com, ParishRestoration.com. Jim Woodworth, great dude, veteran, Air Force veteran, been in remediation and recovery his whole career from 9/11 in New York, the BP oil spill, now helping everyday folks like you and me at our house or at great large industrial and commercial buildings. It's Parish Restoration. ParishRestoration.com, ParishRestoration.com.
Raising Cane's is honoring Chuck Norris on National Chicken Finger Day. For every box combo sold on July 27th, Cane's is donating $1 to Chuck's Foundation, Kickstart Kids.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 2025 Jeep Wrangler with $18,000 off MSRP.
$18,000 off Jeep Wrangler plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Shough, Fagan & Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Benkin. It was a busy day at NFL training camps with several players going down to injuries. Bengals defensive end Shamar Stewart was carted off the field at Bengals practice, suffering a left leg injury. Saints defensive lineman Bryan Bresee suffered a knee injury. It is feared it could be a torn ACL. Panthers rookie wide receiver Chris Brazzell II went down in practice, as first reported by The Athletic and confirmed by ESPN. Brazzell suffered a moderate LCL tear in his left knee and is expected to be out 8 weeks. Meanwhile, at Chargers camp, Justin Herbert talked about the urgency heading into this season for both himself and his team.
I think there's always a sense of urgency. I think every year you're doing your best, working as hard as you can, and I think the guys are focused and dialed in this year. And I thought OTAs went great. Camp, I'm looking forward to all the work that we're going to put in, and I think guys are really excited about it.
Meanwhile, Vegas coach Clint Kubiak says Kirk Cousins will get the snaps with the top offensive unit. In baseball, the Orioles were down 7-0 to Tarek Skubal, and the Tigers rallied for a 10-9, 12-inning win in what could be Skubal's last appearance in Detroit with the trade deadline approaching.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Keep your career moving forward with growth opportunities, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces. Go to careers.progressive.com and apply today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. We'll bypass hump day because we have Ross Jackson on the day that Saints opened up training camp and looked like they have lost Bryan Bresee for the season to a knee injury. Ross, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course, it's our pleasure. Okay, let's start with Bryan Bresee. What can you tell us?
Yeah, it was an otherwise, good vibes day around Airline Drive. But, of course, coming out of that, this is a significant injury here for New Orleans. Now, there are still some tests that are expected to be done, but the feeling here is that Bryan Bresee is going to be out for the season with an ACL injury. And that's big for him. That's big for the Saints as well. This is a guy that was proving that he could become a complete defensive tackle in the league, especially after getting involved in Brandon Staley's system, made some big strides in the run game last year, had kind of shifted to playing a little bit more of the 3-4 defensive end, which is still an interior role in this New Orleans Saints defense. So had made some strides there. Didn't have the sack numbers from 2 years ago, but was kind of showing that he could kind of do both those things, and this was the year to put it all together. And now, unfortunately, provided that these tests do show what is expected, which is an ACL tear, then that would end up sidelining him for the season. He's still on contract, even though he's in the 4th year of his rookie deal. They had already picked up the 5th-year option, so he's set for 2027. But it certainly changes the conversation around Bryan Bresee going into the offseason next year.
Did you see the play where it happened?
No. A lot of us didn't see him leave for even all of it. And so, sometimes these types of things happen to where, it's at a time where a bunch of guys are going in or relocating or going somewhere else. You don't see them like kind of peel off and go around. Sometimes as well, as we saw early on last season, some guys end up being, perfectly fine until they get off the football field, and then, they notice something nagging at them, and then everything kind of goes. It's typically not the case with an ACL, but this wasn't a, down on the ground, grabbing at the knee kind of a situation. It was, a moment where he had walked off and went over to be seen by trainers. And then, throughout the process, they were able to find that this is the concern.
Well, obviously, as they continue through camp, now we'll pay even closer attention to the defensive line with Bryan Bresee absent. Another huge storyline was Chris Olave, who was there but not fully participating. What's the deal?
Yeah. So this is your classic hold-in. We're seeing it in Atlanta with Bijan Robinson, in Detroit with Jahmyr Gibbs. This is kind of the new way now, instead of holdouts where players just wouldn't show up to camp, of making sure that you're kind of protecting yourself in the midst of contract negotiations going on. It seems, based on everything that Kellen Moore said after practice, that this was communicated ahead of time. Everybody seems to be on the same page, and that there's kind of a respect to the business relation of all of this, to where, exactly seeing what happened with Bryan Bresee today, one of the reasons why you have a guy like Chris Olave saying, okay, I'm in the midst of negotiating a contract, I'm not going to push it. And so, you can kind of see a little bit of the what this could be in that scenario. And so it seems that there's no ill will, no issues, as Kellen Moore said, and it seems that everybody's on the same page here. But Chris Olave is not going to go out there and push it and risk injury while he has, the biggest contract of his life right now kind of being negotiated around him.
At Ross Jackson NOLA is where you can get him. Read him for free at louisianasports.net. You can listen or watch for free, Locked On Saints. I was scanning through the practice report. It is comprehensive, as always. It's free over louisianasports.net if you want to get it. You noted an impressive day for Kool-Aid McKinstry. That's music to my ears. What'd you see?
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy that just every time that you ask about him anywhere, everyone just kind of lights up, and you can see it with the play on the field. He had a really strong OTA and mandatory minicamp kind of off-season practice sessions where either his coverage was good enough that he wasn't thrown at very often, or he was making plays on the football. And we certainly saw that today. Had a diving pass breakup in coverage against Devon Bailey on a ball during 7-on-7s, which are typically very offense favoring. And that was a ball from Tyler Shough, and he was able to dive and get the ball knocked out. He had a really, really strong day. Had a couple of incompleted passes thrown his way, and then really didn't see a lot of attention after that. And that's kind of what he became, most well known for during his time at Alabama, to where quarterbacks just didn't throw his direction. He kind of took away that side of the field, and that's what the Saints are hoping that they're getting out of their top corner here as he goes into his third year. Asked Justin Reed about him. Justin Reed was asked about him a couple of times, and I asked a little bit about his process and how he's kind of changed things. And he's talked a lot about the physical nature of all of it, but also the mental nature of all of it. Justin Reed did a really good job kind of breaking down like how to maximize a walkthrough rep, for instance. It's very nuanced, very fine-tuned kind of veteran stuff. And that's the type of leadership, that's the type of education, I guess you could say, that Kool-Aid McKinstry is absorbing right now and applying. You're seeing it translate out on the football field early on.
Ross Jackson is with us. Any rookies stand out today?
I'd probably say the biggest rookie standout going into today was Jordan Tyson, right? I mean, getting the opportunity to finally see him participate in team drills as well as 7-on-7s. Look, this is the acclimation period of training camp. This first week, pads go on next week. And so right now everybody's just kind of getting in rhythm. And so there weren't any big downfield passes or downfield bombs or anything like that. A lot of it was kind of situational, down and distance, keeping in the short and intermediate areas. But just seeing the way that he moves, seeing the way that he cuts, seeing the separation that he creates off the line of scrimmage, he's everything that, the Saints kind of build him to be from, those kind of standpoints. And so that stuff you kind of got to see immediately, even though there weren't any big downfield patterns or anything and that were taken advantage of during this practice. And so I would have to say that he is certainly one of those. And then I'd highlight Christian Miller too. In the defensive interior, I mean, he's a massive dude. Like, he's just a big guy, and he is somebody that just eats up space. And that's something that this New Orleans Saints defensive line, especially now with this injury to Bresee being what they fear it to be, that's a guy that's going to be incredibly important, along with the return of Vernon Broughton for this year, drafted last year. those guys are going to be leaned on quite a bit. And I think Miller's ability to be able to impact and change the numbers on the interior of the defensive line and the interior of the offensive line is going to be a big-time asset for New Orleans going into 2026.
A couple more for you, Ross. Other standouts today? Anybody catch your eye?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you want to see the standout stuff from Tyler Shough, and I think you're seeing it. This is the guy that's just, kind of taken in leadership and has been a player that's been able to kind of walk in and command a room and all that. We saw that with him, bringing everybody out to the West Coast to get some practice in and get some throwing sessions in, pieces like that. I think Jonas Sanker continues to impress as he's working in the slot and his opportunity there. Justin Reed kind of talked about this too, to where, the idea of having Jonas Sanker in the slot is that, yeah, he's big, he's physical, he can tackle, he's willing, he can do all of that near the line of scrimmage, and he's got that football IQ for it. But also, the Saints just want to get their best 5 defensive backs out on the football field, and they feel like those guys are Justin Reed, Julian Blackmon, Jonas Sanker, and in the 2 corners on the outside, Nicolay McKinstry and Quincy Riley. So those guys getting their opportunities there. And then I think probably the last guy that I'd mention would be Travis Etienne Jr., just as a guy that, they're billing him to bring a lot of explosiveness to this New Orleans Saints offense. His 23 rushes of 20 or more yards over the last 4 years matched the Saints as an entire team over that same span of time. And so him being able to, come in and be able to apply that kind of explosiveness, add that to this offense, and then his effectiveness in the red zone, which has proven to be very effective as well, is something that could really change things over for New Orleans, who struggled in the red zone last year and early to start games in particular.
When we did our camp preview with you, you rightly reminded me about the place kicker battle. It's Charlie Smith, and then Tanner Brown is there as well. Anything day one?
Yeah, so 5 of 5 for Charlie Smith. So usually the way that this works is that they, on the odd days, one will kick, on the even days, another will kick. So we'll probably see Tanner Brown kicking tomorrow. But Charlie Smith was first up as the incumbent when it comes to that battle. Took kicks from extra point to, I believe, about 48-ish yards. It's a little bit tough sometimes to catch the angles on the far side field or the near side field and all, but he was just shy of 50 and made all 5 of his kicks all throughout. Thank goodness we had officials out there today, so they were able to step forward and actually signal, so we weren't doing some guessing from weird angles and things like that about what was good and what wasn't. But, 5 of 5, perfect way to start for Charlie Smith, and he'll look to try to continue that as he goes through.
Give him a follow at Ross Jackson Nola. Read him for free over at LouisianaSports.net, and you can listen or watch YouTube or your favorite podcast app, Locked on Saints. He is Ross Jackson. Thanks, Ross. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. Take care. Stay safe. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Be well. It's after further review. We're brought to you by Shough Tire and Auto Service, ShaughBillsTire.com. I was doing a Morning Scone episode the other day, and a gentleman popped on and said, Matt, I needed tires, finally went to Shough, took your advice, and I get it. They've got a customer for life. And it's one of those things where when you experience it, you'll understand it over at Shough, because they're going to sell you the best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. It's part of their customer bill of rights. The Charlie's dozen, a dozen benefits extended to you and your family when you buy tires at Shough. They're going to sell you the best tires at the cheapest price. They got the price match guarantee. And buy tires at Shough. If you find that tire advertised cheaper somewhere else, they'll refund you 125% of the difference. You can't beat it. And, of course, they're going to treat you like family. Great people that take value in treating you right, making you feel valued. And so you'll come back when you need an oil change or have your windshield wiper changed or you need your tires rotated or whatever the case may be. It's Shough. Locations all over South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShaughBillsTire.com, ShaughBillsTire.com. Shough. We keep you rolling. All right, y'all, rolling through hour number 3. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. You missed anything, remember, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. We talked to Frank Schwab last hour, a little NFL camp wrap around some of the biggest stories around the NFL. We did open up the show talking about Bryan Bresee and got to some of what Lane Kiffin had to say today at the Baton Rouge Rotary Club. When we come back, I want to revisit Lane Kiffin's trip to Rotary. In particular, comments he made about GM Billy Glasscock, who remains one of the central figures adjacent to Lane Kiffin in building this roster and program, who we just haven't heard from yet since he's been hired. So anytime we get a little tidbit, we'll peek behind the curtain on Billy Glasscock. It's going to be interesting. Let's hear what Kiffin said when we come back. It's AFR.
After further review.
Our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, yourgoodwood.com. Hormone replacement therapy, ED treatment, peptide therapy. You probably heard people talk about peptides. You may be wondering, what is a peptide? Look at a great option. Go by Goodwood and have a conversation with Gabe and let him explain it to you. And they have peptides for everything. Keep in mind, peptide is not medication. Peptide is a strand of amino acids designed to help your body amplify its natural function. So if you take a growth hormone peptide, for example, you're not injecting growth hormones into your body. You're injecting amino acids to help stimulate your body's natural growth hormone production. If you want to learn more, yourgoodwood.com. And we're talking about things that help you sleep, anxiety, mental focus, energy, muscle and tissue repair. Just mentioned growth hormone stimulation. Peptide therapy is amazing. If you want to learn more, they've got the lowest prices and never any contracts. Yourgoodwood.com. Yourgoodwood.com.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Offensively, we were able to bring most of the coaches from our previous staff at the last place. And that's important to me because it worked. I got cameras back there, so I'm like... Burge told me on the way up, remember there's cameras back there, okay?
You can hear the crowd chuckling when he said the last place. I guess we're all conditioned to it. We've heard him say that over and over. It's actually been interesting because Lane Kiffin is so hesitant to say Ole Miss. He keeps saying the last place or the place we were at. He doesn't want to say Ole Miss, which is, I don't know, strange, I think, a little bit. But similarly, hearing Trinidad Chambliss or Kewan Lacey, they'll say our former coach, our old coach. They won't say Lane. It was interesting listening to those guys, talking to those guys at Media Days last week, the same thing. I don't know why they seemingly don't want to mention each other by name, but it feels like it's the thing that just keeps fanning the flames that are just billowing right now, steamrolling toward September the 19th. Well, whatever happens on September the 19th, they'll have two great rosters, two very talented rosters going head-to-head. But LSU has a roster that Lane Kiffin sort of pointed out is actually a what he feels to be like a young football team.
Everyone says, well, here's the portal players that come, and everybody thinks they're one-year players. They're not. So a lot of times, portal players that pay off, okay, maybe even backups initially that are younger, freshman, sophomore players, all right, then in year 2 end up being starters as these great players that we have that are seniors leave. It's actually a pretty young team. There's not many seniors on the team as you look at it. So as excited as we are for this year, I just want to talk about that, about the building of the future.
Okay. Yeah, two things can be true here. Because you really do have a veteran team. Alubaz, who you brought in via the portal as a fifth-year senior. TJ Dottery, who you brought in via the portal as a fifth-year senior. Braylon Moore, who returns as a fifth-year senior. Bo Bordelon, who may be starting, is a fifth-year senior. Prince Williman Mielen is a senior. Jace Brown, who you brought in via the portal, is a senior. Ty Benefield, who you brought via the portal, is a senior. You bring Whit Weeks back. He's a senior. I mean, that's a lot of dudes that are going to be expected to contribute immediately and be impact players on this team. And then you got guys like Zach Grace, who comes in from Oregon. He's a redshirt junior, so he's in his 4th year. Sean Tompkins comes over from Baylor and was probably going to be your left tackle until you got in the Seton sweepstakes late. Sam Levitt's a redshirt junior. Means it's his 4th year. Roman Mothershed, the big receiver from Troy. And you got guys a little further down the list like Tyree Holloway, Traylon James, Malik Elzy, Jaquan Sprinkle, who came in from NC Central, Trey Wilson coming in from Florida, Stephylan Green coming in from Clemson, Trey Brown, the wide receiver from Old Dominion, Jackson Harris, the wide receiver from Hawaii. They're all redshirt juniors, all those transfers. Tamarcus Cooley's a redshirt junior. Jakeem Jackson is a redshirt junior. You got a lot of really key contributors on this team that are either 4th or 5th year players. And that's not even counting veteran guys like Jordan Seton, who's a junior, who's going to be expected to contribute immediately, be your starting left tackle and a key impact guy. And Malik Blockton, who's going to be a key impact guy on your defensive line rotation, retaining Dom McKinley, who's a junior in his 3rd season. So same with P.J. Woodland, one of your starting corners, is a junior. So I understand where Lane's coming from, because what he's trying to say is the depth on this team via the portal is actually, they went and got young depth in the portal. I think that's an important distinction, because when you look at your first 22 on either side of the ball, you're going to have a lot of 4th and 5th year guys out there. I just ran through a bunch of names that are 4th or 5th year players, which is one of the reasons I think you should be really excited about this team. Talented veteran players. But I think the other thing that's very important that they did in the portal was they went and got experienced depth that are young people that are multi-year guys. So we've mentioned some on the offensive line. For example, like William Satterwhite is one I mentioned. Like William Satterwhite and Darren Stray are two that I mentioned pretty commonly. Satterwhite comes in from Tennessee. Darren Stray comes in from Kentucky. Those are two dudes who are in the SEC who came this year knowing they're not going to play this year. Like William Satterwhite knows he's sitting behind Braylon Moore, but he came anyway because he's a multi-year guy who came to be in the system, provide depth, and then be the guy at that position very likely next year. And there are those examples all over both sides of the line of scrimmage. And that's what I think he's talking about there. And the whole idea of building this roster is their sort of manifesto is kind of one way I've heard it described. That's something that Kiffin and Billy Glasscock have put together. How they value positions. So if you're looking at your cap, your budget to spend on the roster, how are you valuing positions? And then within those position groups, how are you valuing players? How do you distribute the money therein? Like one thing that surprises people, something I've heard them talk about, like they value defensive line more than cornerback. And that's a little counterintuitive because we hear so much about corner being a premium position at the next level. But like their research shows that college quarterbacks, this isn't the NFL, even very good college quarterbacks, if they're pressured, they're moved off their spot, they're less likely to make an accurate throw. So what's more important than covering the receiver is affecting the quarterback. So you go spend the money on Prince Willuman and Jordan Ross and Lamar Brown and Richard Anderson and Deuce Gerald. It's why they're so hot after the number one player in the country, the defensive lineman who's committed to Texas Tech, Jalen Brewster. That's why they're so invested there and why they weren't willing to pay Joshua Dobson, the 5-star corner, when they already got their guys set with Pickett and Woodland. It's not to say corner isn't important. It's just to say they value defensive line more than cornerback. So it's interesting watching these guys work and build the roster. And Lane did talk a little bit today about Billy Glasscock, the GM.
College football has now turned into the NFL in a lot of ways because of the money and because of trying to figure out how you divide the roster as you look at high school and you look at portal, and also what players do you keep. You know, people don't talk much about that. I'll say to you with the cameras, I mean, that's the world that we live in. With money now, decisions have to be made, and players basically are cut nowadays. Billy does a great job of managing throughout the building and all the things that come with it, especially contracts with players, and then also all the player issues and building issues that come up through the year. Billy's been very important in our transition in that too.
Think about cutting players. There's no position group worth looking at more closely than the offensive line, where you had a handful of guys who had been starters for you, where you had Tyree Adams and Paul Mabenga and Cohen Eccles, and Ori Williams stepped in after Tyree got hurt last year. And you had dudes that DJ Chester that had played a lot of football for you. But the staff came in and looked at that group and went, this isn't what we want. So they retained Braylon Moore and they retained Weston Davis, but they basically turned over the rest of the group and brought in guys that fit what they want to do better, like Seaton and Tompkins and Baugh and Harper and some of the freshmen that came in. So that's kind of how they're looking at it. Yeah, I mean, you have those conversations where you cut players. You tell them, we don't have a spot for you. And that's part of this now. Kiffin elaborate a little bit more on how Billy Glasscock works.
You used to just have coaches that just coach football. Now we have personnel people that also are throughout the year watching other players, high school and college players, to build basically like a draft board and a free agent board. So if you just try to coach the old school way, you'll get left behind in that. Your season programs, maybe they coach really well, but then their roster management and then the players that they choose in the portal, okay, they miss on a lot. You know, a big part, just like if you follow NFL, is the draft and free agency. It's not just the marquee names that you see, okay, in the portal. It's how do you hit on the other parts of the portal, meaning after the first tier, you know, and that's your evaluation system, not just when you watch the film, okay, but who are they? When they come in, most places recruit the kids as they come on their visits. We evaluate the kids as they come on their visits to figure out who they are. Are they going to fit in our systems? Are they going to work? We have to figure them out so that we're bringing the right players in, and he does a great job with his department in that.
Will they fit in the system? What we just talk about with the offensive line? He's giving you the answer to the test. And the thing that I would tell you on the flip side is think of it this way. A year ago, LSU had the number one portal class in the country. Now, I think the world of Austin Thomas. He did great work while he was here. He was a great recruiter, all that stuff. It is true that LSU went and signed the number one portal class in the country last year, and they missed on a bunch of guys. I mean, Prince Willuman, singularly, who was a transfer, by the way, went from Nebraska to Ole Miss. Prince Willuman had more sacks at Ole Miss than the LSU transfer defensive ends did combined. I mean, that great defensive end class that we talked about with Patrick Payton and Jack Pyburn and Jamari Butler. Like, Uman Mielen had more sacks, 9.5, than those three combined, which is stunning to think about it. But that's evaluation for your system. And they missed. They missed on a bunch of guys last year. Nick Anderson. They paid a lot for Nick Anderson and Barry and Brown and those receivers. And they missed on those guys. Like, Ole Miss took Kewan Lacey from Missouri. People forget this. Kewan Lacey didn't start his career at Ole Miss. He started his career at Missouri. Played 1 year at Missouri, where he had 13 carries. I think he had 13 carries his whole freshman year at Missouri. He goes to Ole Miss, runs for 1,500 yards, and is an All-American. That's hitting. That's the difference between signing a highly rated guy because he's a highly rated guy and signing a guy who fits your system, which is something else that Lane talked about.
I think what we do really well is we get the pieces and then we figure out the system to fit the pieces. Many people just run their offense or defense and they just, okay, this is what we run. What we do is, especially offensively, okay, is we look at the players, we figure out through camp what do they do really well, and then we maneuver the system around that. And over time, as you look at the different stops of where we've been offensively, we look very different sometimes from year to year. We may have a year where we're calling plays at Alabama and Derrick Henry leads the SEC in rushing, in rushing attempts in the country. We may have other years where we throw the ball a ton. That's all based off of the players as we figure them out. So it's exciting to get to that part of it.
We'll start to figure it out in 1 week's time as LSU will hit the practice field on Wednesday for the first of Lane Kiffin's fall camp practices. It's after further review. Hey, we're brought to you by Relief Windows, proud partner of LSU Athletics, reliefwindows.com, reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters and shades, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. Remember, Brandon Holly and the gang over at Relief Windows, they will never take $1 from you until they're done and you're thrilled. Who else does that? Nobody. I don't know. I'm sure somewhere in the United States of America there's a company like that, but none that I'm familiar with that will take on all the financial risk up front, that will not take $1 from you. No down payment. They'll never take $1 until they're done and you're thrilled. They take all the risk, ordering these custom windows, installing them, in hopes that you're going to be thrilled with the work they do. But that's how confident they are in the quality of work, the quality of their staff, the quality of the product and service they provide. It's Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, shutters and shades, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. All right, y'all, it is after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. We'll knock out a quick break. I do want to talk a little bit about, we were supposed to do this last hour and we got a little sidetracked. I apologize. But I do want to talk about a little bit about what's come out of Big Ten Media Days and the possibility of the SEC joining the Big Ten and the call for a 24-team college football playoff. By the way, Lane Kiffin did talk today also about strength of schedule metrics and how that should be considered by the committee. We'll touch on some of that. And we'll get to our locks and what we learned to wrap up the show. By the way, your boy remains the WNBA betting king. Yeah? No?
I think you used the word savant earlier.
In a text, I did.
Yeah, I like that a little bit better.
You want WNBA 4-team parlay winners? This guy's just handing them out like Skittles.
You could have just said candy. Yeah, sure.
Hotcakes.
Sell like hotcakes.
I'm not selling anything. I'm just giving them. I'm giving out winners. Giving them away. I'll give you some more winners tonight. If there's WNBA action. If there is, then I'm going to give you some more winners. If there's not, then I'll probably give you a baseball play that's not going to be very good. But if I give you a WNBA pick, take it to the bank. It's AFR.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty, agent225.com, agent225.com. Thinking of selling your home? Call Darren James. Get your home sold. Darren guarantees that he will sell your home. I've told you about it for years. It's the Guaranteed sale program. Here's how it works. Call Darren. He'll meet with you, look at your home. You'll agree to a price and a deadline. If Darren doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he will have your home bought with cash or he will sell it for you absolutely free with no commission. What do you got to lose? Call Darren James and get your home sold. 335-7666, 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com, agent225.com, the most user-friendly website in real estate, agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
People think it's all about game day.
Let's go!
But the real work happens in the off season.
Spring practices, early lifts,
extra reps. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
So we can do what we do best.
We trust the lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
Community sailing is all about getting people in the New Orleans area out on boats, out on Lake Pontchartrain. Gulf Coast Bank helps us provide opportunities to get folks out who might not otherwise have the financial means to come sailing. Auctions in August is an online fundraiser that helps nonprofits like us service the community. Bidding through Auctions in August is a lot of fun because there's so many different items. There's something for everyone, so you're sure to find something that relates directly to you that you'll enjoy bidding on, and you get to help out the community.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Shaw & Fagan & Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I have an easy solution I've said for a long time, okay? We do all these things in the committees and everything. When it comes down to is that team better than that team, ask Vegas what's the spread on a neutral site. That's what they do. They're going to do it a lot better than putting a room of conference commissioners and some former players and saying which team's better.
I really wanted him to say self-important dweebs in a hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas arguing things like game control and defensive efficiency metrics. I've said that a few times over the last decade or so. Lane Kiffin talking about the selection committee. He was pretty adamant that he does believe strength of schedule should matter in the selection process.
I don't care what sports you play, whatever, you got to play golf or tennis or pickleball. You create your own team, okay, and you got your partner, and however good you are. If I give you 12 opponents and they're lesser opponents, okay, your record's going to be different than if I give you these other 12, but you're the same exact team. So you have to get, in order to pick the teams in the right order in the postseason, you're going to have to get to a point where you say, wow, as we look at the schedule, this 11-1 team played one hard team, lost, and beat 11 teams they were supposed to. And this other team's 9-3, but they played really hard teams in really hard places, okay, and beat some of them and lost 3 of them. And that team's better than the 11-1 team.
I think he was describing Indiana and Ole Miss in 2024. He's basically just rehashing his entire argument from 2 years ago. He's right. And I do hope we do get to a point where strength of schedule metrics do factor in. I've been on the record many times. I would love to see an expanded playoff where the teams are selected by a predetermined objective metric. Decide how you're going to factor that metric. I don't really care what it is. I shouldn't say I don't care. I think there's a lot of different ways to do it, but I think strength of schedule should be part of it. But if everyone knows going in, like basketball has the net ranking, baseball has RPI, if you go in, we had the BCS formula for years, and people bemoan the BCS, but the problem with the BCS wasn't the BCS formula. The problem was there was only 2 teams. If we used that formula to pick 24 to create a bracket, we'd be happy. We could argue about who should be 12 and who should be 14, but the point is the access is there for the teams that belong in, and we'd have a true playoff, and it would reward teams for playing a difficult strength of schedule. That's what I would like to see. Now, Tony Petitti, the Big Ten commissioner, today at Big Ten Media Days, reinforced his call, doubled down on the push for a 24-team college football playoff, said the faster it goes, the easier it'll be, and said there has been a good collaborative conversation with the SEC and Commissioner Greg Sankey. Actually said a day ago that they talk, he said yesterday they talked 5 times that day already. Now, part of that's playoff, a lot of that's the Protect College Sports Act that's going through that's going through Congress right now. So there's a lot of reasons for the two of them to collaborate, to discuss. You know where I stand on this. There's a lot of people who disagree with me. Paul Feinbaum was on Get Up, completely disagrees with the 2014 playoff.
He's a really smart guy. He's got a law degree from Harvard, but he's completely wrong about the regular season, Greeny. I don't understand how 8 and 4 teams playing in November are going to draw big numbers on TV. You devalue the regular season, and college football has the best regular season in sports because until 3 years ago, there were only 4 teams in the playoffs. Now there's 12, and if you suddenly go to 24, you're letting a lot of really average teams get a bid to the CFP as opposed to a bid to the ReliaQuest Bowl, and that's not what playing for a championship game is all about. The first round of the tournament, half of those games are not worth watching anyway, Greeny, and now you're just going to blow it up, make it more bloated, and I think it's a terrible move for college football.
I couldn't disagree more. You know where I stand on it. The fact that you'd have teams through November playing for the ReliaQuest Bowl is meaningless. That's not something people would actually care about. So, look, I know there's a lot of people who don't see eye to eye with me, and that's okay. I think what we've seen, though, very clearly is more and greater and deeper interest in college football for more teams throughout the final month of the season, as opposed to teams playing for the ReliaQuest Bowl and players opting out in games that nobody wants to see. And if you incentivize teams to play better games by including a strength of schedule metric, then you're going to get an even better, more competitive regular season. I mean, you could talk about 8 and 4 football teams all you want. But if you're 8 and 4, it's the point Lane Kiffin was making. If you're 8 and 4 because you played a brutal schedule, what would you rather see? Would you rather see a really good regular season, competitive games, and a team maybe go 8 and 4? Or would you rather see a completely watered down schedule to make it look a win-loss record look pretty for a committee? By the way, the 24th ranked team at the end of the season this past year was North Texas, who was 12-2. I'm not arguing for North Texas to be in, but that ain't 8 and 4. If you want to talk about teams that ended with 4 losses, I mean, Southern Cal and Michigan. I mean, there was a point Southern Cal was 7-2 in the Big Ten. You tell me like that wouldn't be an intriguing game to watch, a playoff game? Michigan was a 9-4 football team last year. Like, I'm not telling you they would necessarily win a national championship, but wouldn't you rather see it play out on the field? And if the argument is, well, that's what the regular season is for, to a degree, I would agree if we had an equitable schedule, but we don't. That's the problem. The SEC plays a different schedule from the Big Ten, from the Pac-12, from the Mountain West, from the ACC, the Big 12. And if you're not playing an equitable schedule, then you have to expand a playoff. Because what's to say, we have this conversation endlessly. When Indiana went 11-1 a couple of years ago, we all said it. We live in SEC country. Well, make Indiana play an SEC schedule, and where do they go? 8-4. Well, they made the playoff because they went 11-1 against a crap schedule that played one ranked team and got their head kicked in. So let's play an actual playoff where let the SEC teams prove it. The 9-3 SEC teams, a couple of years, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Alabama, the teams a couple of years ago that went 9-3 and got left out because you put the G5 in and the 11-1 Indiana team that played a crap schedule, Well, here's a way to let the Indiana team prove the validity of their schedule, and the Ole Miss, Bama, South Carolina 9-3 SEC teams, Texas a year ago, to prove the depth and power and strength of the SEC. It's not a hard concept, y'all. Like, play games. Keep score. We don't have to have the debate and conversation about it and guess and let the dopes in the hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas make the decision for us. Let's play games and find out. And we're getting there. And you'll see. You may not like it now, but you didn't like the 14 playoff. You didn't like the 12-team playoff. It's all made college football better. Ratings up, viewership's up, attendance up. Everything's up in college football as a result. It'll be even better when we get to 24. I'd go to 32. All right, stop it. I know y'all crush me for it. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. We are brought to you by Evamore, E-V-A-M-O-R, evamore.com. Got mine here with me every single day. Drink 2 of those 64-ounce bottles. You don't have to drink 64 ounces. They got 20 ounces, 32 ounces, 64 ounces. Want to grab a 20-ounce bottle, bring it with you to the gym? Do it. You want to carry around a 64-ounce bottle every day like I do? Do it. It's Evamore, E-V-A-M-O-R, natural artesian water from the source. Source matters. It's Evamore, and it's a Louisiana product. So don't buy that crappy, crinkly plastic water bottle from Texas, or the bottle that has the pretty flower on it, and then you overpay for it because it's from a tropical place with a flower on it. Buy a great product that's natural artesian water from Louisiana, straight from the source. Evamore, E-V-A-M-O-R, evamore.com, evamore.com. Find the retailer nearest you that sells it, or order it online at evamore.com, E-V-A-M-O-R, evamore.com. All right, it's After Further Review. We'll knock out our final break of the show. Our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. When we come back, we will go over our bets from last night. We'll hold ourselves accountable. But I already told you, the WNBA savant right here nailed my 4-leg parlay, and with that 50% profit boost courtesy of DraftKings, came back at plus 168. How you doing? I'm just out here paying for kids' college. That's what I do when I bet WNBA. Paying for your kids' college. I'm going to find out if they have games tonight, because I don't know if anybody's playing.
Yeah, 2 games tonight.
Okay, good, great. Well, we'll see. We'll see what we got. Got anything coming back plus 1180?
I think it was 1790, but no, we don't have one of those on the card tonight.
Dang it! All right, it's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown, 2 great hotel properties. Hey, remember Watermark Baton Rouge? If you love going downtown, if you've never been downtown, or it's been a while since you've been downtown, you got to go check out Watermark Baton Rouge. 2 dining options at Watermark. We always talk about the Gregory, which is awesome, right? Great casual upscale dining experience right in the lobby of Renaissance Baton Rouge. That gorgeous charcoal oven, that open charcoal oven inside, which those beautiful aromas waft through the lobby whenever they're cooking during mealtime at the Gregory. But they also have Milford's on 3rd. You can enter Milford's from the lobby or from 3rd Street. Remember, Watermark is on the corner of 3rd and Convention. And it's a sandwich shop, casual. It is delicious. I mean, I love to pop in there and get a quick lunch from time to time or get it delivered. It's at Watermark Baton Rouge. Great place to host an event, any event. Downtown, it's Watermark Baton Rouge.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
Raising Cane's is honoring Chuck Norris on National Chicken Finger Day. For every box combo sold on July 27th, Cane's is donating $1 to Chuck's Foundation, Kickstart Kids.
The Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office protects and serves over 132,000 residents across the parish.
Keeping our community safe is our mission, and Rev Fiber plays a critical role in how we respond. Whether it's training in our special divisions, forensics investigations, or fielding emergency calls in our operations center, Rev Business connects our teams in real time, which is why we partner with Rev Business.
Get 6 months free of Rev Business services. Call or click today.
Better coverage for less money. That's what they do over at Insurance Network of Louisiana. LAinsurance.net, LAinsurance.net. I tell you all the time, yes, homeowners insurance, auto insurance, boat, RV, all that stuff, but also business insurance. Listen, if you need commercial insurance, whether it's commercial auto, general liability, your commercial property insurance, workers' comp, they have big business owner package policies as well. And, man, they crush it for restaurants. Some of their clients, places like Mestizos, Doe's, Cocha, The Station. You want to save money every month to improve your bottom line? One way to do that without increasing revenue is cut expenses. What if you could save money every month on your insurance? Let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop independently for free so you can save. LAinsurance.net, LAinsurance.net, LAinsurance.net.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Lowest prices, never any contracts. Check them out online at yourgoodwood.com. All right, we got one thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for our locks. Does it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's it. We still don't have like a... I can drop the outer locks open, but it's not outer locks, it's our locks.
Maybe you can get one made?
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, how much time we got left for Otto to be back?
Like a month?
No, it's not a month anymore, huh?
Whatever. Your show, Muse.
I think we have like a week left.
Your show, Muse. Just here to do whatever you tell me to do, Muse. Whatever.
Give me some more WNBA winners.
Working on it right now.
Okay.
All right, go over the results from last night.
All right, so we had a Paul, you said over or under last night?
I believe I said under.
Under, okay. Well, that might give us 2-1 there. Yeah, that game went to 11. All right, so 2-1 a night ago. Your parlay hit Scone and our no-run first inning.
My 4-leg WNBA parlay with a 50% profit boost from DraftKings. Yeah!
And our no-run first inning play there in Red Sox Angels hit as well. And in fact, it cruised. Only one runner reached base in the first inning, so it was great.
Okay, what do you got tonight?
All right, today we're going to do a little two-leg parlay Major League Baseball. So we will start in Flushing, Queens with Braves and Mets. We'll go no-run first inning in that ball game. Chris Sale, Christian Scott, one of the rotations there for the Braves and Mets. And we're going to hook that up with a Yankees money line as they go for a series win against the White Sox. Schlittler is on the bump for the Bronx Bombers, so we'll hook that up. Comes back plus 196. No run first inning, Braves, Mets, Yankees money line, plus 196.
Look at that, Muse. A little plus 196. I like that a lot. All right, Paulie, what you got?
So I'm doing the same games as the Musso, but I'm going to do a 3-leg parlay. I'm going money line.
Okay.
Hopefully I don't jinx us all, but I'm going with all of our teams. So I'm going to go Atlanta Braves, New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox.
I like that, Paul.
That comes back at plus 327.
Ooh.
What do we do?
Paulie.
All right. I'm going to give you a money line parlay across 2 different leagues.
Okay.
So we'll start with the Minnesota Twins. They play baseball. They don't play in the WNBA.
Allegedly, they play baseball.
They play baseball. The Minnesota Twins are at home tonight. They're taking on the Kansas City Royals. That is a 6:40 first pitch. Joe Ryan on the bump. The Twins are minus 206 on the money line. Okay. and we're going to hook that up with my Golden State Valkyries of the WNBA. They're on the road against the Faux Mercury.
Faux?
The Faux Mercury.
Phoenix? The Phoenix Mercury?
PHO, Faux, or Pho.
Okay.
They say Pho, right? That's how you say it? It's the Vietnamese food.
Pho.
Pho.
Pho?
It's pho.
Fee-fi fo fo.
Like, it's like if you're starting to say the F word, but you don't finish it.
But you
say
don't.
Pho.
You
That's
don't.
PHO's
Yeah.
pho.
You don't say
it's
that.
It's Vietnamese food.
Okay.
But we're not worried about them because we're going with my Golden State
1 minute
Valkyries.
remaining.
Minus $1.75. So when you hook those two up, it comes back at plus $1.33.
Let's go.
So we got 3 different parlays, and only mine will hit because I am a WNBA savant. Actually, I don't know if the Twins might blow it for me. I'm just going with a home team that's a big favorite. Home team, it's a big favorite. But what I do know about the WNBA is it's like women's college basketball. There's just enormous favorites, and the underdogs never win. So just bet the big favorites and link them up together.
Chalkholds.
I just gave you the money, the method to my madness. Keep doing it. I'm going to do all the legwork for you. Come on, Minnesota Twins! Don't screw it up, you jerks! Get Billy the Kid to come be the manager. What was his name? Billy Gardner? Was that it? What was it? Billy what? Wagner? No, not Wagner. What was it?
Not Wagner.
Paul, you remember? Billy? Somebody give me the answer!
AFR.
We're brought to you by Arco Power Systems. A-R-C-C-O, 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 and Arco is their name. Oh, they still haven't said anything to me about the jingle.
I think it's because they like it.
Or maybe maybe they haven't heard it yet. But Arco Power Systems, we love to have fun with the jingle. Toby Tomplay has taught me to be the master of the earworm. But what Arco does, there's nothing funny about it. This is critical backup energy solutions for the industrial and commercial sector. So Arco.com, we're talking about generators for your business. These are the giant Generac generators for your business. So if it's a grocery store, hospital, gas station, school, any type of municipality, doctor's office, when the power goes out, what do? You call Arco. A-R-C-C-O. Arco.com.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season, and we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our Lay of the Lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
At Southern Classic Chicken, we take pride in serving the freshest, seasoned, and marinated hand-breaded fried chicken. It's so good, it's wrong. Choose from a variety of classic sides like our zesty Cajun seasoned fries, savory red beans and rice, or sweet corn grits. Drive through today and pick up a family box or one of our classic combos and enjoy a true Southern classic. Order online and download our loyalty app to start earning those crispy and juicy rewards. Loyalty matters.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit SpineCenter